and the Buffalo Bills, who have yet to win in 6 starts. Obviously, a very important game for both teams, both coming off losses, and because of the fact that it's the tutor and the student going at each other today, Chuck Knox and Kay Stevenson. But even more importantly than that, Marv, there are several key factors in this game as far as the Bills are concerned. The first, of course, is the return of Joe Ferguson to the starting lineup.
Absolutely. I'd say that is the primary key to this game. Joe coming off an injury with a tender ankle. I'm sure they're going to try and put a lot of rush on him. But he is a key. His statistics have been very good. High touchdown percentage, low interception percentage. If they're to pull off the upset today, he's going to have to be the trigger man.
Is the fact that he's going against an old coach a detriment to him?
Well, I don't think so. They both know each other. They can both see advantages or disadvantages in that. I think it pretty much cancels out. I think their abilities are what's going to count more than anything.
There's been a parade at left corner as far as the Bills are concerned, and today they'll be starting another one in Brian Carpenter. That's also a very key factor to you, isn't it?
Yes, that's key number 2. If there are 3 of them, that's number 2, Rick. Brian Carpenter, who is a good cover man. I remember when he played in college, he was. And he has to go against a tough Steve Largent today. That'll be a tough one.
All right, and we're just about ready for the start of today's game. The Buffalo Bills have won the toss and have elected to receive. Kicking off for Seattle will be Norm Johnson, and deep for Buffalo, number 21, Don Wilson, and Van Williams, number 23. And we're ready to go here at the Kingdom in Seattle. Okay, here we go. There's Johnson, number 9. Incidentally, an excellent field goal kicker. He's only missed one. We'll get to that a little bit later. And you had a glimpse of Wilson and Williams, and it goes to Wilson at the 2. Breaks clear and is just tackled at the 20-yard line by number 58. That would be Bruce Schultz, the outside linebacker. He has made 37 tackles on the year for Seattle, an 18-yard return. There you see the offensive lineup for the Bills. Joe Ferguson, Greg Bell, Booker Moore, Denard Franklin, and Barnett. The 2 wide receivers and the tight end. Ken Jones, Jim Richard, Will Grant, John Borchardt, and Joe Devlin, the offensive line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Buffalo at the 21-yard line. The backs move into a divide formation. Handoff goes to Greg Bell. Bell gets over the 25 to about the 27-yard line. The tackle made by Bruce Schultz. He's a 3-year veteran, 6'6", tall, 240 pounds, out of Texas.
The Bills were in a 2 tight end set. The first down indicating to me they're going to try to run that ball today against Seattle, something I think they have to establish because of Seattle's very strong pass rush.
There is the defensive setup for the Seattle Seahawks. Jacob Green, Nash, and Bryant up front. And the defensive back, Simpson, Brown, Easley, and Harris. It'll be 2nd down and 4 at the 27. Speedy Neal goes off almost up on the line of scrimmage. Greg Bell gets to the 30, not enough for a 1st down. Kenny Easley, number 45, in on the tackle.
Again, 2 tight ends, plus bringing Neal up to the line, trying to spread the defensive front. And again, you see the stress on the running game. They tried to spread the front and then run up the middle with Bell on the last play.
Justin Cross goes into the game, and Byron Franklin comes out. That's a rather odd substitution.
Well, in a 3rd down and 1, a short yardage situation here, I'm sure they're bringing in an extra blocker for the situation.
The ball is at the 30, backs in an I formation. Handoff goes to Bell. He gets the 1st down. With several yards to spare, the tackle made by John Harris, number 44.
They used a split buck on that play, and the idea on it, Rick, is to try and get the middle linebacker to go with the flow of the fullback one direction, and they gave it to Bell going the other way. It worked.
These 2 teams have met twice before, once in regular season back in 1977 when Seattle just demolished the Bills, and in preseason, a tight game, a 7-3 victory for Seattle. It's 1st and 10, the ball at the 33-yard line. Joe Ferguson calling signals. First action in 3 weeks. Handoff goes to Bell. Bell up over the 35 to about the 37-yard line, where he is met by Keith Butler, who has 32 tackles for Seattle so far this year. He's a 7-year veteran from Memphis State, 238-pounder. There you have a good close look at Joe Ferguson. I talked to him yesterday at the hotel, asked him about that ankle of his. He said, it'll be just fine as long as my offensive line can keep some of those guys off of me.
Well, they're doing what they have to do to keep them off so far. They're establishing a good running game. And, of course, the idea is to negate that heavy pass rush. 25 sacks so far this year for Seattle.
It's 2nd down and 6. The ball at the 37-yard line as Greg Bell moves in motion. Ferguson first pass, and he overthrows Booker Moore by a good margin.
Ferguson took a downfield read first. He wanted to go downfield. Moore was really an outlet receiver, and I'm sure being in there for the first time, not wanting to feel too much pressure, he unloaded a little bit too quickly once he saw the downfield pattern wasn't there.
It'll be 3rd down and 6 from the 37-yard line.
3rd and 6, 37.
Brookins is in the ball game, goes wide to the right as we go into the shotgun formation with Denard to the left. Good rush. Ferguson going for Bell, and he gets it. The reception made at the 26-yard line.
Seattle had 7 defensive backs in the game. 7 defensive backs. Here we see another look at it. Bell was in motion out of the shotgun and just sprinted down the sideline, figuring he'd get one-on-one coverage from a linebacker. There weren't any linebackers in the game, so Dave Brown was covering, and Bell outran him, made a very nice over-the-shoulder catch. One-on-one coverage, Brown against Bell. Bell won that matchup. Ferguson laid it in there beautifully.
37-yard lead. 1st down and 10. And we have a timeout on the field, and we'll be back in just a moment. Back have the ball at the Seattle 26-yard line for a 1st and 10. After a big 37-yard reception by Greg Bell. Ferguson hands it off to Bell, coming to the left side. Gets over the 25 and is shoved out of bounds by John Harris, number 44, as he got just over the 24-yard line.
Again, Rick, it was a 2 tight end offensive set, and they shifted Speedy Neal up to the line of scrimmage, giving him essentially 8 men on the line of scrimmage.
Is there a specific name for that kind of a formation, Coach, using that fullback up there?
Just 2 tight end with a wing back.
Okay. 2nd down, 8, 2-yard gain for Bell. Byron Franklin comes to the left side again. Everybody in tight, and now Neal goes off to the right side on the wing. Single back formation, and it goes over to Bell. Bell skithers through, almost broke it, got to about the 15-yard line, where Sheldon Robinson finally made the tackle.
They are spreading him thin. Here Bell takes the ball, that line spread out. It's just a run to daylight play. They come off the ball very well, clearing a good swath. Seattle is a little bit concerned with how to adjust to what's happening. This is a new look for the Bills. They have not shown it. Seattle certainly had no opportunity to prepare for it during the week. It's going to take some time for them to adjust, and you can bet those coaches got their pens going on the sideline.
We're taking time out for a measurement to see if the Bills have picked up another 1st down. You just saw the statistics on Greg Bell so far. 76 rushes, 298 yards this season. The number 1 draft choice, of course, for Buffalo. And it's a 1st down for the Bills as they have the ball spotted at the 11-yard line. Preston Denard coming into the game.
They're taking the tight end out right now. Mark Bramer has been in there as a 2nd tight end. I would anticipate they'd go to a 2 wide receiver set down here. They do, both of them coming to the same side. No, now he goes way below.
Franklin is going over to the right side. That's spread out too far, almost in a wing situation, too. Now he goes in motion, does Byron Franklin. Pass is incomplete. It bounced off. It made a nice shortstop pickup on the play. It was Preston Denard. Covering was Keith Simpson. Call that a little bit of rustiness, maybe, Coach, and the fact that Ferguson has not played in a few weeks. He overthrew Booker more before and then just now underthrew Preston Denard.
I would think so. It's a bit rusty. He has to get the feel of things. He threw a beautiful ball to Greg Bell at one time. It was a quick out pattern and took a quick arm movement on it, and maybe he hasn't done enough of it, or maybe he can't push off that foot. It's hard to tell.
Just saw the numbers on Ferguson, who has had an excellent season until he injured that ankle 3 weeks ago. 2nd down and 10 from the 16. Bell looking for running room and doesn't get any. He is piled right up at the line of scrimmage.
Now, that's strange, Rick. It was 2nd and 10, but Seattle was playing the run all the way. They brought their strong safety right up onto the line of scrimmage on the strong side, right where they were running. They guessed pretty well with them, and that's all it had to be was a guess. But 2nd and 10 to guess run is unusual.
Coach Kay Stevenson. That's Milt Jackson standing next to him. It's 3rd down and 10 from the 16. Bills go into the shotgun formation. Threw that one away. Intended for Craig White, number 27. He looked a couple of places, Marv, but then decided he saw the 2 men down there in the end zone for Seattle defending. Craig White was down there, but he just threw that one away, did he not?
Yes, he did. He threw it away. Once you get 3rd and 10 down there, you're in real trouble, because they had 7 defensive backs in the game at the time, and there was no place to throw it. He'd throw it away and go for the 3 points. That's the best bet he had there.
All right, Joe Danello will attempt the field goal. Matt Coker will hold. They will spot the ball at the 23-yard line, making it a 33-yard attempt. The kick is up. The kick is no good. So the Bills come up empty with the score. Buffalo nothing, Seattle nothing. We'll pause for this message. Seattle now takes over their first offensive possession. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Dave Craig calling signals for the Seahawks. Pitch out to Eric Lane. Lane is upended as he gets to the 25-yard line. There you see the offensive setup for Seattle. Dave Craig, Lane, Harris, Turner, Largent, and Metzlar starting at tight end in place of Charlie Young. That's the offensive line. We'll have a look at the Bills defense in just a moment. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Largent comes wide to the right. 2 tight end setup. Mike Tice is the other tight end, along with Metzlar's in the game right now. And off goes to Franco Harris, and Harris gains maybe a yard, possibly 2 yards. Bills reading run all the way on that one, Mark.
Well, they sure were, because also Seattle is using a 2 tight end setup. You mentioned Netter and Student, and they both are thinking the same way. They both are thinking they have to be able to run today. And I think Seattle, despite the fact they don't have a great running back anymore with Warner gone, feels that they must establish a run in order to remain true to their philosophy. And Chuck and his staff will work very hard at making the run go.
3rd down and 3. Darrell Turner comes wide to the outside as Seattle goes into its shotgun formation. And whistles all over the place as the 30-second clock ran out. Let's see if they're going to call a penalty on Seattle for that, for delay of game. The referee is Fred Wyatt. And they are not. So it's 3rd and 3. number 56, Darrell Talley. That is only the 5th sack of the year for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, they were really coming on this rush. The outside, right up the middle, we see Lucius Sanford, who put the initial heat on, and then Smerlis helps him break the pattern up, and finally down around the ankles we get the tackle by another man coming in. But it was a swarming sort of lay your ears back type of rush. There didn't seem to be a lot of science to it. I'm sure there is. I'm sure it was well thought out. But it was aggressiveness which was stressed on that rush.
That is Jeff West, the punter for Seattle. And deep for the Buffalo Bills is Don Wilson, number 21. High punt. Fair catch called for by Wilson. He drops the ball, and it's picked up by Seattle at the Bills' 40-yard line.
It looked like he lost it in the lights. He really misjudged the punt badly. A very high punt that slithered to his own left.
Kenny Kanawi.
As we look at it again, just the way the punt return man would have seen it, the ball comes off to his right, gets the same color really as a lot of the people sitting in the stands, and he loses it, can't find it yet. They can't advance the ball. They'll bring it back to where he muffed it, but the ball goes to Seattle. A big break. Their special teams have continued to play well. Again, we see the ball go right off his left shoulder. Seattle's ball.
So Seattle will take over with a 1st and 10 at their 48-yard line. You mentioned in a ball game we did before, Marv, about a punt returner or a kick returner drifting to the ball instead of planting himself and making sure he's going to be able to make that catch. Looked to me like Wilson was drifting there too.
It did. Number one fundamental of fielding a punt is sprint to the spot, get camp, get a wide base. Now you can move one way or the other. The ball is the same color as the background of many of the fans, and he lost it. But if you drift over, even though you think it's an easy catch, if anything is a little bit different from what you thought it was, it becomes very difficult to adjust.
So Seattle retains possession after the Bills showing some strength on defense, sacking Dave Craig deep. Jeff West came up with a good punt, but Wilson muffed the fair catch. Kanawi recovered. Connie Kanawi, backup nose tackle, number 62 from Hawaii, and Seattle retains possession.
The Seattle special teams have really been a factor for them this year, Rick, and they continue to do the job right now.
1st and 10, the ball at the 48-yard line for Seattle. Craig going deep, looking for Sargent, and it is intercepted by Charlie Romes, and they're calling it at the 11-yard line.
We will see. They had Romes over here on Largent's side. Now perhaps it's their idea in this game that they are going to defend Largent with Romes, whether it's left side or right side. But he certainly comes up big on that play, and it's obvious that it was Seattle's intention on 1st down to go after the left corner, and the Bills, by having Romes there, certainly had their best corner covering him.
I mentioned a bit ago that Kanawi was a nose tackle. He is not. He's an offensive center. And he was the one that recovered the muff punt by Wilson. But now the Bills get the ball right back at the 11-yard line on the interception by Charlie Romes. There's no score in the game if you've just joined us. Buffalo nothing and Seattle nothing. Buffalo opened by driving to the 23-yard line before they were stopped on a 33-yard field goal attempt by Danilo, which was no good. Interesting reason why that was no good, Marv.
Yes, I commented earlier on the Seahawks special teams, and their field goal rush has been very good. The rush that they put on very strong from the Bills' left side with Terry Taylor, number 20, spearheading the rush, caused Danilo to try and kick away from him a little bit, close down the area of the goalpost that he had to hit, and he did shank the ball or push the ball off to the right of the goalpost, trying to get away from that rush. So the pressure of the Seahawks kicking game has come up with 2 big plays so far.
The Bills came up with a sack, and I said that's only the 5th sack of the season for them as a team. Seattle has a ton of them. Several of their individual players have more than the whole Bills team. All right, 1st and 10. The ball is spotted at the 12-yard line. The Bills have a slot formation going in a single back. Craig White goes in motion. Handoff goes to Bell. Straight up the middle for a gain of a yard, maybe 2. Joe Nash, the nose tackle, making the tackle on the play.
On that particular play, Rick, they had 2 tight ends again, as they have been, but they had also 2 wide receivers, both at the same side, leaving them only with the 1 running back. Speedy Neal was not in at that time. Craig White replaced him in the lineup for that down.
Gain of 1 yard. 33 tackles for Joe Nash. He's one of the top tacklers on the team. That's unusual for a nose guard, isn't it?
Remarkable for a nose guard. They don't make many tackles. They just clear the way for the linebackers to make them. Use up blockers.
Same formation on the previous play, but this one goes to the other side, and Greg Bell dipsy-doodling his way close to the 20-yard line, where Greg Gaines, number 56, made the tackle.
Again, of course, it was the 2 tight ends, and Bell the only back. Things spread rather thin again. Bell doing a very good job of picking up and cutting behind the block that was made there on Joe Nash, number 72, who was pursuing to the play. A very fine block, really, by the Buffalo center on the play.
Will Grant.
Will Grant, 53. That's right. He's got a fine block on the play.
So it's 3rd down and 3. Double wing formation with a single back. The ball at the 19. And Greg Bell gets the call. He's trying to get the 1st down, and he's very close to it. Maybe a little shy. Harris, number 44, made the tackle along with Paul Moyer, number 21.
They went to a pure power formation on the play, something usually used for yardage less than 3 to go. It doesn't mean that they didn't have a reason there, but usually before you bring in 2 tight ends and 2 wingbacks, you've got less than 2 yards to go.
Here you see the numbers on John Kidd, the rookie punter for Buffalo, and back to take the kick is Kenny Easley, number 45, as the Bills fail to get the 1st down. And it's blocked by number 50, Fred Young. Oh, how many times the Seattle Seahawks special teams have turned things around for head coach Chuck Knox. And there you see a perfect example of it.
Coming off the right side, Fred Young. The fullback is used up by a wide rusher from the left. Young gets his hands out. Perfect technique. He did what you should do. He looked through his hands to the ball. So many people will look away. Another look at the same play. Kidd is a quick kicker, only 2 steps, but Young does it perfectly. Now the key man, there's number 20. You see him on the screen, Terry Taylor, who forced the personal protector to come over and take him.
Well, the Seahawks offense hasn't done much, but the special teams have done plenty. Morris, number 43, the ball carrier, in place of Eric Lane, who started the game. Morris has carried the ball 18 times for a total of 91 yards. Don Wilson made the tackle.
Talking with the Seattle staff yesterday, Rick, they said they would plan to use Morris a great deal, split a lot of the tailback work between Morris and Eric Lane. Both men have had good outings. Morris almost 100 yards last week, and Lane over 100 an earlier time this season. Howard formation.
Lane back in the ball game. 2nd and 5 at the 5-yard line. And off goes to number 46, David Hughes, in the ball game for Franco Harris. Stop made by Ken Johnson, number 91. There you see Chuck Knox talking with Jim Zorn. It's Chick Harris, backfield coach.
Again, rather unusual to go to the power formation with about 5 or 6 yards to go, just as I commented on the Bills' 3rd and 3 situation. They're bringing in their wide receivers now, but this is a tough offensive down. 3rd down with about 5 to go or 4 to go.
Gain of a yard on the play. This quarter is winding down quickly. 4 minutes, 14 seconds left. There is no score in the game. It's 3rd down. They go over the middle and completes it to number 81, Darrell Turner, for the touchdown. Very nicely executed play by the Seahawks.
It was the wide receiver who dragged under clear-out patterns. The inside receivers all went deep. The zone tried to drop deep, and when he had time to let the clear out take place, he did bring it under. They kept their backs in the block, getting a lot of extra protection. Hit Turner for the touchdown.
That is his 4th touchdown of the year. Norm Johnson will attempt the extra point. Zorn will hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So the Seattle Seahawks have jumped out on top thanks to their special teams. The punt muff recovered by Seattle.
Stop and think about it, Rick. They forced the missed field goal, and I think it was forced by the rush. Then they punted to get the ball out to midfield where they recovered the fumble. Then they blocked the punt, which put them down inside the 10-yard line. And those are 3 huge plays, all coming from the kicking game.
All rights to this telecast or portions thereof are the property of the Buffalo Bills and WKBW Television. Any rebroadcast or other use of this program without the express consent of the Buffalo Bills and WKBW Television is strictly prohibited. 4 minutes and 6 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and the Seahawks, with a 4-yard touchdown pass, have taken the lead 7-0. Their offensive statistics would not lead you to believe that that is the case, but it is, as has happened many, many times with this Seahawk team, not only this season, but last season. It is their main strength. There are some scores, finals, that you can read them very quickly. The Giants beating Atlanta. That's a final score. New England over Cincinnati. Kansas City beat San Diego. There you are, Giants. The Jets over Cleveland, 24-20. Another tough loss for Sam Rutigliano and the Browns. Detroit in overtime over Tampa Bay, 13-7. Miami beating Houston 28-10. New England over Cincinnati, 20-14. The Rams 28-10, winners over New Orleans. The kick goes to Wilson. 1 yard deep in the end zone, moving to the right side. With some running room, still on his feet. Almost got to the 20, but he's dumped at about the 17-yard line. Fred Young, number 50, who just blocked John Kidd's punt, makes the tackle. So the Bills will have the ball. 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. We see Philadelphia beating Indianapolis 16-7. St. Louis over Chicago 38-21. They came from behind to do that one as Chicago broke out on top in that game. Kansas City 31-13 over San Diego. Make you smile a little bit, Coach?
Well,
you got to still be Kansas City.
I know a lot of those players, and they certainly had a great performance today.
All right, a slot formation for Buffalo at the 17-yard line. Julius Dawkins is in the slot to the left side. Pass goes out to Byron Franklin. It's incomplete. Good for him that he dropped it, because number 22, Dave Brown, read that all the way. Good play by Dave Brown, the 10-year veteran.
A very good read by Brown. They were fortunately in a defense which allowed them to roll up, the roll-up zone on that side where the 2 receivers were. So Brown was reacting to the play. He's fortunate he dropped the ball. It would have been a loss on the play.
Ferguson has only completed 1 pass for 37 yards in 5 attempts. Of course, that was the big one to Greg Bell early in the game. 3 minutes, 52 seconds remain here in the first quarter. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Buffalo. Dawkins goes wide to the outside. Craig White, seeing an unusual amount of action so far, is in the game, but Bell gets the call and gets out to about the 20, gain of 3 yards. Joe Nash making the tackle.
They are staying with that 1-back offense. It'll be interesting to see if they remain patient and stay with it, even though they've fallen behind. I think they put a lot of time preparing for this approach. They moved the ball well on their first drive. Just because they've fallen behind, I don't think they should come out of it, or I don't think they will come out of it. Those are his decisions. I'm just telling you what I think he'll do.
A bunch of wide receivers went into the game just now. Preston Denard is in there, along with Mitchell Brookins, as we have the shotgun formation for Buffalo on 3rd and 7. Ferguson again. He's looking for Denard, and it's overthrown. Coverage there by Dave Brown.
Again, they worked on Dave Brown just as they had before on the long pass they hit. The Seahawks brought 7 defensive linemen in, 7 defensive backs in again in the game in that passing situation.
And you see Joe Ferguson limping on the sidelines. Not a good sign. The only backup quarterback they have is Matt Copeland. So Kidd is in to punt again on 4th and 7 with the ball at the 20. Coming again, and again it's blocked. Taken by Fred Young, and Young is brought down at the 9-yard line.
That, I believe, was Terry Taylor from the outside. He came from the outside right. Here we see a man coming untouched from the right outside. There's some question, and somebody's saying it's Byron Walker, and whatever.
Fred Young is the one who caught the ball, and he was the guy who blocked Kidd's first punt.
Yes.
So Kidd hasn't gotten the chance to get the ball airborne.
They really worked hard to seal the inside. It was, you're right, it was Walker, number 89. Taylor again using up the fullback.
And it's 1st and goal for the Seahawks inside the 10-yard line. The special teams dominating this game for Seattle so far. Pitch out. Goes to Morris. Morris barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard.
I'll tell you, Rick, in a situation like this, too, it is very difficult to make the necessary adjustment in your blocking patterns. You spent an entire week having your players memorize what you think the anticipated rush is going to be, and you can try and make those adjustments, but in the process of doing it, you better be sure a lot of players get it without having had any chance to practice it, because if one of them doesn't, you're going to get it blocked for a different reason. Once you get that pressure on, it is really on blocking punts.
Loss of a yard. It's 2nd and goal from the 10. Turner is wide to the outside. Sargent is in the slot formation. Sprague goes to throw. He's looking for Turner, and he has it for the touchdown. They say yes, no. No. Official said he was out of bounds.
Very close. They went to work on Brian Carpenter then. Carpenter is covering Turner. They realize that now that Romes is over there on Largent. They'll probably try to go to work a little bit and test him out. Let's take a look. Was Turner in or was he out? He's up.
He was out.
He was out. The crowd doesn't like it, but he had one foot in and he long strided then with his other one. His left foot comes down in, but then he long strides out with the right. It's a perfect call. In fact, it really wasn't a difficult call.
Good call by the official. 3rd and goal. The ball still at the 10-yard line. Craig to throw again. He's looking for Largent, and Largent has it this time. It's a touchdown. What a beautiful move by Largent.
Largent, when the ball was already airborne, he took an inside move. Romes, of course, guarding a man-to-man, has to look at where Largent is going, and then Largent came back out. That comes only from experience. The ball is airborne, and you'd think now that the receiver would go for the ball, but Largent saw it was a soft pass, takes an inside move. You see him coming out of it, and the ball is laid in perfectly at the back of the end zone. Beyond that, does he get that 2nd foot down?
Just got that toe in, didn't he?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether he did or not.
The officials call it a touchdown.
That's what counts.
All of this done by special teams. The kick by Norm Johnson is good, and the Seahawks have taken a 14-0 lead. How many times the special teams are totally ignored in by people who scout games and things like that, and they say, well, this wide receiver and that runner, or this defensive back, or this nose tackle. And today is an excellent demonstration of just how important special teams are to winning and or losing a football game.
Well, Rick, I've preached this gospel, I guess, over and over and over, and people say yes, but they don't really listen or believe you. The kicking game is 1/3 in importance of the game. It is absolutely equal in importance to offense and equal in importance to defense. You have to play well in all 3 areas to be a championship level team. Kicking is 1/3 of the game, and and I think a lot of good teams do, give it 1/3 of your practice time.
Right. There is Norm Johnson, who will kick off with 2 minutes left here in the first quarter, with Seattle leading 14-0. Van Williams and Don Wilson deep for the Bills. 9 yards, 3 plays. Took them 55 seconds to do it. Their scoring drives have not been lengthy.
They finished in the right place, however.
That's right, in the end zone. The kick goes to Williams in the end zone. He decides to bring it out. And he is stopped as he gets to about the 16-yard line, and there is a flag down on the play. That is the first flag we have seen in this ball game.
Yes, it is, and it's good to see a game where there aren't many. They tell me that penalties are up 13% this year, and I really think it would behoove the Rules Committee to try and find ways to diminish the number of flags.
Oh. There you see Coach Kay Stevenson hovering and talking with Greg Bell and Joe Ferguson and Booker Moore. Holding called against the Bills, moving the ball back to the 7-yard line, what you call atrocious field position.
It seems to happen after a score. You really are at a disadvantage in terms of the penalty when you're returning kicks now because of the rule to block above the waist. It leads you to holding, to blocking from behind, and other types of actions which cause penalties, make you start in a deep hole.
Backs in an I formation. Buster Barnett goes in motion. Handoff goes to Greg Bell. Puts his head down and crosses the 10-11, and a fumble on the play. And Seattle has recovered. Do you believe it? Number 58, Bruce Schultz, has come up with the football.
Things go wrong. They really begin to mushroom on you. The second man in on the tackle. Let's get a look at who it is. I couldn't see it first. Puts his helmet right on the football. There you see it. Popped, I think it was either John Harris or Keith Butler.
Keith Butler, number 53.
Were simultaneous almost in it. It was a tough tackle. One of them hit him low around the thigh pads. The other one stuck his head right into the football. Let's see if we can detect it here. No, we really couldn't from that angle.
But Schultz comes up with the fumble recovery, giving the Seahawks the ball at the 11-yard line, 1st and 10. Backs in an I formation. Dave Craig calling signals. The pitch out goes to Morris. And Morris keeps his feet and gets down to about, well, let's see where they're going to spot it. They're going to spot it near the 1 yard. Nope, they're going to bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, he was
to the
hit.
5-yard line.
He was hit, knocked off balance, stumbled a few steps after being hit, and then went down. The people thought that he'd gone down without being hit, but that's not the case. If the hit causes him to go down, which it did there, even though he went 3 or 4 yards further on, he cannot get up and run again. People are booing, but I don't think that most of those booing are aware of the rule.
All right, they're going to put it at the 7-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 5. Randall Morris and Franco Harris, the running backs. Tight formation, Largent rather, Steve Largent wide to the right. Morris gets the pitch out, and he is stopped by number 55, Jim Haslett, on a good play. So the Bills defense actually has been playing pretty tough football.
It was my thought exactly, Rick. I was about to say it, and you beat me to it. They've been playing well. They're tough against the run. They put on heat, particularly when they had some kind of field position. They've been stopping the run here in scoring territory. The first time they tried to play a zone to keep that end zone covered pretty well, got hit underneath with a pattern. Next series, they went man-to-man, and, of course, they went to Turner once it was out of the end zone, then Largent on a man-to-man in. It's pretty tough to try and play defense when the other team's starting their drives 10 yards away from the goal line.
It's 3rd down. The ball at the 8-yard line. Again, a heavy rush put on by Buffalo as they chase Craig, and he just throws it away. Saw a shot of Bob Kreider, number 78, a bit ago. He's the starting right tackle because Steve August was traded to Pittsburgh this week. He's an 8-year veteran, August is, out of Tulsa. Kreider, of course, is a 7-year veteran out of Alabama. But I don't know. Do you think that'll make a difference, or does it make a difference on this team?
Well, talking with some of the Seahawks coaches before the game today, they felt that they needed a bigger, stronger man in at that right tackle position than August. And Kreider's about a 278-pounder. They go against some great defensive ends in their division. Art Still at Kansas City for one. Howie Long with the Raiders. So they needed a bigger, stronger man.
All right, Johnson will attempt a field goal. The ball will be spotted at the 16-yard line, making it a 26-yard attempt. He's only missed one this year. And he doesn't miss that one. The only one he missed was a 53-yarder. He is 10 out of 11 so far. Excellent field goal kicking. And again, part of the special teams by Norm Johnson. And that gives Seattle a 17-0 lead.
Well, I'll tell you, as fine a kicker as he is, you can kick better on artificial turf. Plus, he's a great kickoff man.
That's the end of the first quarter. The score, Seattle 17, Buffalo nothing. Here you see the first quarter statistics. Yards rushing 11 for Seattle. And yet they lead 17-0. Here's the kickoff going to Van Williams at the goal line. Moving to his left side and gets barely back to the 14-yard line, and there is another flag on the play. Let's see what this is going to...
I'm not sure they're not going to call on Eric Lane for tripping him. Lane got knocked down and threw his heels up in the air, and that hit the man returning the ball, and he went down. It was Dornink rather than Lane, but that was the reason. It really wasn't his fault. He got knocked down. His feet went up in the air. I happened to be watching. He was the first man downfield, doing a great job of coverage, really.
All right, that'll bring the ball out to the 24-yard line.
Here we see him on his back, and his feet go up in the air. Feet go up in the air, catching the return man, and he gets called for tripping on him.
First quarter score, Washington 7, Dallas 7. And Minnesota leads the Raiders 13-7 in the first quarter. Joe Ferguson with Barnett in motion. Ferguson back to throw. Completes it to Byron Franklin at the 35-yard line.
Boy, that's a headache. Kenny Easley coming in there very strong on the tackle. Ferguson appears all right. Delivers that ball with a nice arm motion. Franklin gets it. The close in is very quick.
He was limping a little bit ago on the sideline. Seems to be all right now. 1st and 10 for Buffalo at the 35-yard line. The Bills have 4 first downs. The Seahawks have 2 first downs, both of those because of the touchdown. Again, Barnett in motion. Handoff straight ahead to Booker Moore. And Booker Moore crosses the 40, gets to about the 42-yard line before Keith Butler makes the tackle. Butler, 32 tackles on the year. There's Moore, 11 rushes, 48 yards, a 4.4 yard per carry average. And it'll be 2nd down and 2, gain of 8 for Booker Moore.
The Bills going to the more standard type of offensive sets now. 2 wide receivers and a tight end. They feel they have to be threatening the pass a little more than would be the case if the score were closer. Once the score becomes this wide a margin, they certainly have to open up or give the look of opening up.
Handoff to Bell. Bell spins off one man, but does not get back up to the 35, where he had to for the first down. He might have gained a yard. There's a flag down on the play. And we have an illegal motion being called against Barnett.
Barnett's been lining up on one side of the formation and coming across to the other side. The only reason you do that is you make the defense try and change their coverage calls from left to right and make them communicate. But when he comes across the formation, he was leaning into the line of scrimmage a split second before the ball was snapped.
And the Seahawks accept the penalty as Speedy Neal comes into the game in place of Booker Moore. It'll be 2nd down and 7 with the ball at the Buffalo Bills 38-yard line.
They're in a nickel defense. 4 rushmen, 2 linebackers went out, and 2 more defensive backs came in. Terry Taylor and Terry Jackson.
Bernard is wide to the left, and it's Franklin wide to the right. And again, Barnett goes in motion, then comes back. The rush complete to Speedy Neal, and Neal gets out to the 45, possibly the 46-yard line. Should be enough for the first down.
Neal did a very good job of being aware of the first down marker on that play. He catches it short of the first down, and wheels immediately, heading upfield. The tackler's closing in. He lowers his head, strains, and picks up the necessary yardage by a small margin.
Gaines made the tackle. It'll be first down and 10. 5 first downs now for the Bills. The ball at the 46-yard line. As Franklin comes wide right and Denard is to the left. Barnett in the wing position comes in motion and goes back. And off to Neal straight ahead. Neal over the 50. Gets to the 45-yard line. Schultz, number 58 on the tackle, along with Harris, number 44, and Robinson, number 57. It takes that many guys to bring him down.
But once he gets going, he can move. He looks a little quicker to me than he did when we saw him in the preseason. They tell me his weight's up, but he's coming off his marks faster, and particularly as a north-south runner, I think he's much more effective than having to go sideways and cut.
Another first down for Buffalo. That is 6. And Denard goes to the left side, and again Franklin comes wide right. The same formation pretty much that we have seen since Seattle took the 17-0 lead. Take handoff. And the pass is complete to Bell. Bell over the 40. Gets down to about the 32-yard line. Good play by Greg Bell, number 57. Robinson making the tackle.
This young man impresses me. He has very good balance. Very good balance. It's a bootleg fake. Ferguson is really looking downfield for Barnett crossing. However, if Barnett's covered, he has an outlet receiver. It's a standard bootleg play that most teams have in. It's how well you do it. Bell keeping his feet very well there, as you can see. Takes a real blow to knock him over. Here we get the same play from a different look. You see, you fake to Bell. Bell really has blocking pickup if there's a blitz. There is no blitz. He checks down and then is able to get away from Butler, from Kenny Easley.
Right.
2 strong tacklers.
To run straight up the middle, gain possibly of a yard. Joe Nash making the tackle on Bell.
The old dive play, the first play that ever came in on the T formation, and people, you wonder what happened to it. You haven't seen it except now maybe once every 4 or 5 games. It was the base of the T and is now an oddity.
Ferguson was 1 out of 5. He's now 4 out of 9 for 67 yards. And the Bills have 7 first downs in this game and trail 17-0 with 10.5 minutes left in the half. Denard comes out of the ball game. It'll be second down and 8. Mark Bramer is now in is the lone wide receiver. Handoff goes to Bell. Bell gets to about the 30, maybe the 29-yard line, where Greg Gaines made the tackle. He was following John Borchardt, number 73, around the left side.
A little bit of checkers going on there. The Seahawks brought in their 6 defensive backs anticipating pass in 2nd and 8. The Bills came back with power formation personnel and decided to run the ball. And they only gained 2, but it still was a pretty good bit of thinking, trying to calculate the tendencies which the Seahawks use on defense.
Officially, it's the 29-yard line where it's 3rd and 6. And the Bills go into the shotgun formation with Franklin in the slot and Mitchell Brookins wide to the right side. Ferguson intercepted by Terry Jackson. And another turnover for Seattle.
Now, this is tough to figure. If that, I don't know if Franklin was supposed to continue breaking out. If he reads zone, he sits down. If it's man-to-man, he should keep breaking out. Ferguson leads him out there. No one's going to know whether Franklin should have gone out there or Ferguson overled him, but the result is the same. It's an interception.
That is Ferguson's 3rd interception of the year. And Seattle has the ball back as the Bills had driven smartly on this last drive, but they, as a matter of fact, they've done that twice so far in this game, but they have come up with nothing. There's timeout on the field. The score, Seattle 17, the Bills nothing for the Seahawks. Craig with good protection completes it to Eric Lane, but it's short of the first down, up at around the 42-yard line. Lucius Sanford made the tackle. So Seattle will have to punt.
Darryl Talley's playing defensive end on the outside, gets a wide upfield rush and is pushed by the passer. The ball's put in there, but good reaction by Sanford. helps you to accomplish the ends that you're seeking. Whether it's a gain or not, it's completion for the stats for Craig, but no first down, and that's what counts.
Jeff West. A high punt. Wilson takes it and goes out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Wilson, earlier in the game, called for a fair catch, muffed it. Seattle kept the drive going. Timeout on the field here in Seattle. The score: the Seahawks 17, the Bills nothing. The ball is at the 15-yard line, and as we were away, Marv Levy said they're playing Craig White a lot. Why do you think that is?
Well, I really don't know the reason why they might. They are using a lot of two-receiver. Franklin isn't playing quite as much as he has in the past. They probably want to get a look at this young man. He's probably done well in practice. They say, let's get him in the ball game and look at him.
Well, he's in the ball game right now. He's in the slot formation to the right. And he goes in motion. Handoff goes to Bell. Bell sweeping around the right side. A flag is down. And Marv Levy is waving his hands. As he had stated earlier, he would hope that those flags would stop flying as much. Personal foul for clipping being called against the Bills.
Well, when I waved my hands, I thought it was a holding penalty, which you could call in any down. You put somebody in the hole. But if it was a wide receiver who came in from the outside and blocked below the waist, that's a penalty. That's one where you deserve a flag, if that's what occurred.
We have a report that Ben Williams has a bruised shoulder. However, he should return to the game.
That's what it was, an illegal crack block. Number 89 blocking below the waist, Julius Dawkins.
Speedy Neal being sent into the game by head coach Kay Stevenson. Chuck Knox jawing away on that gum. 104 victories in his career, 60 losses. Tie. So the Bills have the ball at the 8-yard line now with first down and 17 yards to go, half the distance against them. And Bell gets up over the 10, probably to the 12-yard line, where Jacob Green made the tackle.
Gosh, this is a tough situation. You're down 17-0. You're backed up on your own, inside your own 10. It's long yardage. You just had a penalty go against you. There are no right calls that you could make down here. There really aren't. You try and throw the ball to get out. You turn another interception over, and the game gets out of hand. They just aren't any. This is the time you say, well, I think I'll let as a coach. I think I'll let the quarterback call it. He's been wanting to call a ball year.
All right, the ball is at the 11-yard line. The gain of 3. It'll be second down and 14. And off to Bell, tries the left side this time with a little bit more success as he gets out to the 20-yard line before being stopped by Bryant.
I've been impressed by the way the Bills are running the ball. They're staying tough. They had a nice drive last time till the interception killed it. A touchdown or a score by them then could have certainly put them back in the game. They're not out of it now by any stretch of the imagination, but they're a long ways further from the goal line than they had been when that interception occurred.
6.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. It's third down and 4 with the ball at the 21-yard line as the Bills will go into their shotgun formation, and Brookins comes wide to the right. 7 defensive backs in for Seattle. Ferguson looks, throws. A flag is down. Ferguson gets dumped. One of the things that he mentioned is there's a Bills player down. Can't tell who it is yet. But one of the things that he was hoping for was that he would be able to stay on his feet.
Here is there was a defensive holding on the play, but here we'll get a, you don't see the holding. We'll get a look at the rush on Ferguson. He's backing up, and just as he throws, he's hit from behind by Jacob Green, and Mike Fanning coming in on top of him also, and that hurts.
Second on the team in quarterback sacks, 6.5 he's credited with. Bryant has 7.5. With a pause in the action, let's take time out for this message. Rick Azar with Marv Levy back at the Kingdome in Seattle. We're going to have a look at Jacob Green on the rush, and that's Joe Devlin that he got by. And Joe Devlin was the injured player. On this play, he racked up a knee. He was down for a while, but we will report that he did get up and walk off under his own power.
He looked fine on that play. Actually, 77 Jeff Bryant came in late and rolled on his leg.
All right, it'll be 1st down and 10 with the ball at the 26-yard line for the Bills. As Ferguson goes back to pass. Gets it out over the head of Greg Bell. There's another situation, Coach, where you say, well, did he overthrow him, or should Bell have gone out a little bit further?
No, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I'm going to happen to be looking at it.
Okay.
You have to cut the rushing end on that side. The end on that side is Jeff Bryant. If you cut him, there's a clear lane to throw the ball. But Bryant sort of smelled the play and slowed up, didn't keep coming at the tackle that was blocking him as a result, so that Bryant didn't pick it off. Ferguson had to try and loft the ball, and Bryant fouled up the play. By the way, when I said Bryant came in late last time, I don't mean that he came in late in an illegal manner. He was making a legitimate effort.
Look at the opposing coaches. Look at this. Total yards in this game. 144 for Buffalo to 23 for the Seahawks. Yet they lead. The Seahawks do 17-0. 2nd and 10. Bell coming around the right side. Tries. Doesn't. Gets up to about the 29-yard line. Looked like he was going to break a tackle there. But the Seahawks reacting very, very well to that wide sweep.
They did a great job of stringing it out. They didn't attack. They felt all that interference out in front, and there's a lot of ways you can approach it. Instinct is as good as anything else for a good player, it is. And the players on that side defending strung it out, kept the blockers away from their leg until reinforcements showed up, and the sideline.
The ball is resting at the 29-yard line now with a 3rd down and 7 as the Bills go into the shotgun formation once again. Denard is wide to the right side. It's Byron Franklin to the left. Ferguson being rushed and jumped heavily back at the 14-yard line by Mike Fanning and Jacob Green.
I'm very impressed with the coverage in these nickel defenses. He has no one to throw to, but Green is just by there in a wink of an eye. I believe that, and I don't want to identify the wrong man. Devlin was not at right tackle. I don't know if it was Cross or Lynch that's in the game right now. Probably Justin Cross. And that's a tough assignment. Here's another punt.
And he gets this one off. Easily at his own 48-yard line is dumped as he gets to about the 42. Flags down all over the place. Well, that's the first punt that John Kidd has gotten off. It was his 3rd attempt. The other 2 blocked.
Well, and he had to, because of what happened before, really hurry himself. The result was penalty on the return, as you see. But Kidd had to hurry his punt so much that it really wasn't as good a punt as he could get. He's kicking quickly enough, but that rush has been awesome.
The penalty was called on Sam Merriman, the linebacker, number 51. That moves the ball back to Seattle's 45-yard line. The Bills' defense has been excellent so far, allowing just 23 yards to Seattle, but Seattle leads 17-0 with 4:46 remaining in the first half. Dave Craig calling signals, goes back to pass. Has plenty of time, and it is incomplete, and a flag is down. Well, we had mentioned that there were no flags in this game just prior to the end of the first quarter, but now they have been flying freely. Let's see who this one is against. It is against number 76, Fred Smerlas.
Illegal use of hands. There was a line stunt on in that play, and I didn't see Smerlas in contact with anyone. The defensive right end, Ken Johnson, slanted in, and then Smerlas came running around the outside. Perhaps he grabbed something on the... He's questioning it, too, very much. He can't understand how he could have been called. I happen to be watching the line stunt. The Bills are using a quite a bit of a different defensive alignment from what they've been using earlier in the year. Their defensive ends, instead of playing on the outside shoulders of the offensive tackles, have moved into the gap between the guards and tackles. That plays havoc with your blocking rules if you haven't spent the week preparing for it.
Well, that moves the ball down to the Bills' 45-yard line. And the Seattle Seahawks have a 1st and 10. Craig to pass again. Swings it out to Morris. And he is dumped as he crosses the line of scrimmage, gets to about the 42-yard line.
The Bills in a zone reacted very well once the ball was airborne. They squared off well and reacted well to the throw. I think they're playing very good defense today, and I certainly know that they've been stung a little bit with some criticism, and I think that they're rising up and playing with a tremendous amount of effort. It's unfortunate they've had to start so many of their defensive stands so deep in their own territory.
Randall Morris, 6-footer, 183 pounds, a 10th round draft choice for Seattle, seeing a lot of action today. Wing formation for Seattle on 2nd and 7. And Fred Smerlas grabbed the ball. He started to run with it, but whistles are blowing, stopping the play.
Either an offensive lineman moved or the penalties on Smerlas. He's doing a great job of acting if one of their people didn't move first.
Number 76.
Encroachment called against Fred Smerlas.
We didn't see anybody move on the replay that we just saw. However, there are some centers who've been around for a while who know if you key their hand, who do a very good job of just squeezing the ball, of letting the blood coloring of their hands change, and you get a trigger-happy nose tackle. Not that Fred is. Almost all of them are. They got to be playing there. They'll jump offside.
That'll make it 2nd down and 2 now with the ball at the 37-yard line. Penalties aiding the Seattle cause right now. Eric Lane with the ball. Gets a 1st down, and there is another flag on the play. Steve Freeman made the tackle, and this time the penalty is going to go against Seattle. The referee is Fred Wyant, and we'll have a look.
Number 59, 2nd down.
Number 59, Blair Bush, called for holding the center. Jim Haslett is being helped off the field. He's holding on to now he's being carried off the field.
Oh, that'll be a serious blow to them because he and Sanford, the only 2 real experienced linebackers they have in there. Eugene Marv has some for the last 2 or 3 years, but that will really hurt. They're playing strong defensive game, and I'm sure Haslett is a key part of that.
That leg looked very wobbly to me, Marv.
Yes, it did.
Dr. Weiss taking a look at it. Haslett, of course, a 6-year veteran. It'll be 2nd down and 12 now for Seattle. The ball is back to the 47-yard line. Craig to pass. Smerlas is after him. Throws it cross-field and completes it to Eric Lane. That's a very dangerous pass to throw, isn't it, Coach?
Absolutely. To throw that thing back in there, he defied the percentages with Lane catching that ball. He was running the other way, running against the grain. You can get no steam on that type of pass. They completed it, but they're still 3rd and 5. He would have been better off being 3rd and 7 without that risk, in my opinion.
We talked about the penalties. Most of them have come in this 2nd quarter. Buffalo has been penalized 5 times for 34 yards. There's Sierra Klein making the reception on the play. Seattle 4 times for 35 yards. They have a 3rd and 5 at the Bills' 40-yard line coming out of the shotgun formation. And the blitz is on. And they get him back at the 49-yard line.
Fumble.
And there's a fumble on the play. And that's Lucius Sanford with the ball. I don't see a flag down. And I don't hear any whistles. That's going to be a touchdown for Buffalo.
Well, I'll tell you, before the snap, I said they are taking one heck of a chance. They had 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Carpenter nose to nose on his defender, but they decided to let it lay back. What do they got to lose now? They're losing 17-0. Here comes that heat from Sanford, and then a great stick on the backside
by Steve Freeman.
Steve Freeman.
And Sanford just took the ball away from him. Just grabbed the ball right out of his hands and ran into the end zone. What an excellent defensive maneuver and play by Lucius Sanford.
Stanford's got a lot of speed for a linebacker or for any other position. Once he got it, boy, that's a big break, and certainly should give them a lot of inspiration with just 2:49 left in the.
Dinello's kick is good, and the Bills get on the board. This is one of the most unusual games I have ever seen, Coach. We have a score of 17-7. All of the points that Seattle has scored due to their special teams, and now we have another turnover defensively by Buffalo to score the other touchdown. I've never seen a game like this.
Well, maybe it's a highlighting of what the real important statistic is in football, and that is turnovers. It is the single most important statistic there is in football. I consider blocked punts, by the way, a turnover. We've seen 2 of those that led to scores. We've seen this one, which has led to a score. And when you get done with the games, if you'll go through the newspaper on a Monday morning, you can take all of the yardage gained and see who won on the basis of the most yards gained. And usually there'll be a percentage that did.
You wouldn't on this game so far.
But then take turnovers.
Right.
And the teams that win the turnovers win about 93 or 94% of the time. The team that gets the most turnovers. You've got to count blocked punts as turnovers. Blocked punts and field goals as turnovers.
So what you're telling us and the fans is look at that statistic, then you'll be able to tell most of the time who won the football game.
Absolutely.
All right, Joe Dinello ready to kick off. Zach Dixon and David Hughes are deep for Seattle. The score is now 17-7 with 2 minutes and 49 seconds remaining. High kick goes to Zach Dixon inside his own 5-yard line. Moves to the outside. More flags down on the play. Boy, they have really been flying here in this second quarter. Holding is called against Seattle.
I think it was on Dino Mangero.
That's who.
Dino's on the wedge for the first time for the Seahawks. Somebody they picked up on waivers from Kansas City. He's a very good man on the wedge. When I coached at Kansas City, Dino was on the wedge and was one of our best blockers there. But he got called there in a rules infraction. I didn't teach him that, by the way. He must have learned it since he left.
Incidentally, we have a report on Joe Devlin. He has a bruised knee. He should return to the game, so that's good news. We do not have a report yet on Haslett, who was helped off the field.
By the way, that fumble was caused by blitz from Freeman, which has to be a safety blitz. Has to be a safety blitz on the play, and that's a big one. They took a big chance.
The ball is at the 9-yard line. Handoff comes to Morris. Morris crosses the 10, gets to about the 12-yard line, where he is stopped, and Seattle will now have a second down and 7-odd yards to go.
They'll probably run it down to the 2-minute warning here, it'd be my guess. There's only 2:18 now. They just started to form their huddle. They appear to be in no hurry. Yes, they are.
Chris Keating has replaced Haslett in the lineup for Buffalo at left inside linebacker. They're attempting to get this play off. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. They do not get the play off. You were right.
I would have been surprised. I would have been very surprised if they hurried a play in before the 2-minute warning with a 2nd and 7 with such bad field position, thereby allowing an extra opportunity for the Bills to get back in the game.
The 2-minute warning with us to score. Seattle 17, Buffalo 7. Rick Azar with Marv Levy back at the Kingdome, and we do have an update on Jim Haslett. He's still being looked at on the bench by Dr. Weiss, but our report is that he has a sprained knee, and it's possible that he may return to the lineup. We told you earlier about Joe Devlin. He is up and walking around and should return to the lineup. Okay, it's 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 12-yard line for Seattle. We have 2 minutes left in the half. Craig, handoff to Eric Lane. Pile up on the right side. Timeout is called. Number 95 was at the bottom of the pile there for the Buffalo Bills defensively. And that's Sean McNanny, who was in for Ben Williams, who was also injured.
One of the things I'm sure that were discussed during the 2-minute warning time break, Rick, on the Buffalo bench was utilization of their timeouts. Do we call a timeout after the next play? Yes, we do if there's going to be fairly long yardage to go. However, if they make the first down, let's not be too eager to give them more chances. And they've discussed it in depth even beyond this down.
You just saw Coach Kay Stevenson conferring with Chris Keating and Don Lawrence, defensive coordinator, who has been under an awful lot of heat lately because of the Bills' defensive performances. He is the defensive coordinator for Buffalo, but boy, you can't give him any heat for the way the Bills' defense has been playing this afternoon.
Well, I wouldn't give him any heat for the way they're playing this afternoon, or honestly any other time. I've had the opportunity to coach with Don Lawrence, and he is an outstanding coach who gets a lot out of players. They're playing with a secondary which has vastly changed over other seasons, and a linebacking core where many of the great players from previous seasons aren't there. Don is patient and hardworking, and I think he'll get a good job done, and they're certainly playing with a lot of inspiration today.
3rd down 5, ball at the 14-yard line as the Seahawks go into the shotgun formation. Greg with some time throws, and it is dropped by Turner. Turner was all alone, made a good move to get open, and then just dropped the ball.
Yes, he did. That's one of the things you like to find out about a young receiver, how well he catches in the middle. Anyone can drop the ball at any time, no question about that, but it's much, much tougher to catch the ball in there. Boyd Dowler, the former Green Bay star, used to say, when you go into the middle, you might as well catch the ball. You're going to get hit whether you catch it or not. You might as well catch it.
Hey, Coach, 1 minute and 48 seconds left as we take a look at Jeff West. 2 punts, 35.5-yard average so far. With the score 17-7, he gets off a booming punt. Driving Wilson all the way back, and he muffs this one, but he picks it up and still on his feet. Now he's got a clear field, only one man to beat, and that's West. Cuts it inside, and he's going to go all the way for a touchdown.
Amazing. He misjudged the punt again. Got a good bounce this time. It came right back up to him. The Seahawks were down there as a man. A tremendous coverage on a long kick. One of the difficulties with a long kick is the ability to return it, that you allow to return it, I should say. He picks it. Look at all the Seahawks in the area, all falling over each other in their eagerness and effort. And he's gone. A big break, but this is a new game completely.
Made a good move right here, I thought, to get away from West, and went in a 65-yard touchdown return for Don Wilson. And just like that, this game, which was 17-0, is now 17-14 as Danilo converts the extra point. A 51-yard punt with a 65-yard return.
Well, I'll say this, Rick. Even though they did not score with their offense, they scored on a fumble return and a punt return. I think that Buffalo's ability to stay patient made a heck of a difference. Didn't let them throw the game away in desperation. They didn't panic in a situation that would have been very easy to panic in.
Seattle's been doing it that way. Why not the Bills do it the same way?
Well, that's right.
Turnovers. Seattle, I think, is second in the league with in the plus-minus situation. They were plus 11 going into this game. There you see Chuck Knox and Kay Stevenson once again, with the battle of wits going on between the mentor and the student. And the student, after falling behind badly 17-0, has clawed his way back into this game with 1 minute and 27 seconds remaining in the half. The score is now Seattle 17 and the Bills 14.
Quite a game. I watched the coaches there in the sideline. You don't know any other instruction to give. I know it's the old get back, you guys. You got to be 6. You got to be 6 feet. It sounds like you know what's happening.
All right, Joe Danilo teeing it up. Deep for Seattle will be Zach Dixon and David Hughes. David Hughes is number 46 and Dixon is number 31. And here is Danilo's kick. A short one. Dixon takes it at the 10. Goes to the outside and is out of bounds as he crosses the 25-yard line. Zach Dixon, 6-year veteran out of Temple, 6'1", 204-pounder. He's carried the ball from the line of scrimmage 15 times, gained 36 yards so far.
Zach's a good runner, and Chuck Knox and his staff think a great deal of him. He was injured earlier in the season. He's a very effective kickoff return man, too. Hasn't quite come back up to par since an earlier leg injury. Wasn't a serious one, but it was a hampering one.
All right, Dave Craig just coming into the huddle, and there are only 15 seconds left on the time clock. They'll be lucky to get this play off. 9 seconds. They go into a shotgun formation. 6 seconds. They should be all right now. They get it off. Craig across the middle completes it to Largent, where he is stopped by Eugene Marr, number 54.
I think the delay was based as much anything, Rick, on whether the Seahawks decided they wanted to run the clock out or try and move the ball. They made the decision to move it. Try to move it anyway.
2nd down and 2. Craig over the middle, completes that over the 40 to the 41-yard line to Eric Lane. Incidentally, that's only the 2nd punt ever returned for a touchdown against Seattle in the Seahawks history. Darrell Talley and Eugene Marr made the tackle. There you see the clock, 57 seconds remaining here in the first half. A timeout has been called. The Bills have 8 first downs in this game. The Seahawks just now did register their 4th of this first half. And the Bills were being outscored badly 17-0 as 2 blocked punts led to scores for Seattle. But the Bills have come back with 2 quick scores here in the late moments of the second quarter, and the score is now 17-14. And as we told you, just 57 seconds remaining. The Seahawks with 1 timeout left. The Bills still have 2. There is a shot of Don Lawrence, the man that we talked about just a moment ago, Coach, as being under a lot of heat, especially this past week.
This is a tough situation in which to call defenses right now. I'm talking about the particular tactical situation. About a minute left to go in the half. You've got to play a looser defense. It means they can pick you for some short gains. What you're hoping for is that there's a deflection, that the ball goes up in the air, that there's a missed read, and you get an interception. You're not really thinking you're going to stop the team unless the guy just throws the ball badly all the time. But in the while these events are transpiring, they're moving closer to at least field goal position.
This is one of these bend but don't break situations.
That's what it amounts to. That people get criticized because you're using prevent, but I still think it's the right defense to use. You may get the interception and get the chance yourself.
Shotgun formation all the way for Seattle now. They have a first down again. Craig gets it off. Has a man wide open. That's Dan Dorning, number 33, the running back. 7-year veteran out of Washington State. Charlie Romes made the stop.
Seahawks have been bringing Dorning in primarily in their shotgun formation. He's a good pass blocker and a good receiver out of the backfield, and he is a no mistakes man, and those are very important types of players to have. They're the type of players Chuck Knox likes, the type Don Shula likes, the type everybody likes, I guess, but they'll give up something in terms of speed or elusiveness for a player who is like that.
Play took only 7 seconds. 50 seconds remain. Another first down for Seattle. Steve Largent goes into the slot formation on the right side.
I think I see a blitz coming, or a fake blitz. Here it comes.
Blitz. And they get to him. Fred Smerlas gets to Dave Craig back at the 49-yard line, make it the 44-yard line of Seattle.
We look at it again. Smerlas on a stunt, comes right around to his own left side, has Craig in his sights, and here come a whole host of other Buffalo Bills players. Now, that looks good. You say, why don't we do that all the time? Well, I'll tell you why, because Brian Carpenter is out there in tons of turf all alone covering Darrell Turner, and at the same time, Charles Romes has to cover all alone, all over the field, Steve Largent. And if Craig somehow or other eludes them, he's got the whole field to play with, and you've got almost a sure score. It's a calculated risk. They took it. They've been blitzing well against it. The Bills now have 3 quarterback sacks today, almost equaling their season total to date, and I'm sure that they're going to feed on that success, and success breeds success, and this certainly is a healthy thing for them. Contrarily, Seattle came into this game with 25 sacks, and it's been a big part of what they've done. They've also had 27 takeaways coming into the game, which is a big, important thing.
They just used up their last timeout. 46 seconds remain here in the half. And the sack has pushed them back to their own 44-yard line, where it'll be second down and 22 yards to go for Seattle. It's 17-14, Seattle leading. in a game as strange as you could ask for. Normally you see excellent defense, which you've seen by Buffalo, and you've seen some fairly decent defense by Seattle too at the proper time, but it's been the special teams and turnovers that have resulted in all of the points scored so far in this ball game by both teams.
They look like they're back in that zone prevent coverage on this down.
The long bomb is incomplete. Another excellent move by Turner there, where it looks as though they're going to turn them inside, as you mentioned before, on the excellent move by Steve Largent to score the touchdown. Turner looked like he was trying to do the same thing, did do it, but the coverage was excellent all the way.
Rod Bush was out there on him, which it was tough coverage. He ran pretty well with Turner on the play. That's a tough one to complete, but if you complete it, the dividends are pretty good.
3rd down and 22 yards to go with 40 seconds remaining now in the first half. This game had been speeding along as both teams trying to establish the run, especially in the first quarter, now has lengthened out quite a bit as both clubs have gone to the air, especially Seattle here in the closing minutes. It's 3rd and 22.
Wouldn't be surprised if they run, try and get the clock down with that much yardage to go.
No, they're going to throw it over the middle, and it's tipped away. Largent made a good move, and it was tipped away beautifully by Eugene Marv. Good play by the inside linebacker, and that'll bring up a 4th down, and the punting team for Seattle comes out onto the field. 35 seconds remaining.
This is the ideal situation now to try and rush a punt. The only thing you fear is running into the punter every time you rush him, but you don't figure you're going to march 80 yards in the time remaining, but a block kick can put you in good scoring position.
West has 3 punts for an average of 40 yards a kick, and he gets another high one, and a fair catch called for by Wilson, and he makes it this time. He muffed 2. One of them caused a score by Seattle. The other one he muffed, picked up, and ran 65 yards for a touchdown. 41-yard punt for Jeff West. And the Bills will put the ball in play with 27 seconds remaining back at their own 15-yard line. Washington at the half leads Dallas 17-7. Pittsburgh with a 10-7 lead in the 3rd quarter over San Francisco. Upset in the making there. That's supposed to be Pittsburgh. We didn't get what the score was there. 27 seconds. 1st and 10 for Buffalo, and they, I am sure, Coach, will run out. Yes, that's the
they'll run it out here.
They're going to run it out, right.
Usually when you're at home, you get booed for doing this. There's no question in the world this is the right thing to do in this situation. You've clawed your way back from a 17-0 deficit, so you're in the game. You don't want to make a big turnover here that would negate all of the good things you've done or good things that have had happen to you.
And of course, Seattle can't stop the clock because they've used all of their timeouts. And that will bring up halftime as the clock runs down. 3, 2, 1, and that's the end of the first half with the score. Seattle 17, the Bills 14. We'll be back after this message and a news update from your local station. You're looking halftime, second half kickoff. At the Kingdome in Seattle, the Bills looking for their first win of the year. They're 0-6. Seattle coming off a loss to the Raiders last week are 4-2.
Well, if the Bills can continue to play defense anywhere near the way they've played it during the first half, they should be able to pull the game out.
All right, here is the kick by Danilo. Into the corner to Zach Dixon. Takes it at the 1. Moves to the outside. Lots of running room out there. Turns the corner. Being chased by Brian Carpenter, and Carpenter knocks him out of bounds as he gets to the 36-yard line. Excellent run back by Zach Dixon. And you called it earlier. That's why they like this man, and that's why he's on this team.
Absolutely. He broke the scheme. The blocking pattern is all up here on his own right side as he comes upfield. But it's clogged up. He bounces away, and Brian Carpenter came a long ways, not in the picture now, but he came a long way across field, showing very good speed to bring Dixon down. Also, Rob Riddick was closing in had he been able to evade.
All right, the ball is at the 36-yard line of Seattle. It's first down and 10. Dave Craig, the quarterback, he's gone all the way there. Franco Harris is the lone back behind him. Long count. And Harris gets the ball, cuts back to the left side, gains a couple of yards. Lucius Sanford in on the tackle.
Seahawks showing a formation they did not show in the first half. It is 4 receivers at the line of scrimmage, 1 back in the backfield, Franco Harris. The Bills still playing that strong safety up there, strong, close to the line, trying to stop the running game. Craig audibilized to try and run away from the strong safety, but they had made good compensation with the rest of their players, the Bills had.
Chris Keating is in there in place of Jim Haslett, who was injured in the second quarter. Back to pass on 2nd and 7. And it is complete to Turner. And Turner is forced out of bounds by number 21, Don Wilson. Excellent catch and excellent move for the extra yardage by Darrell Turner.
It's man-to-man coverage with a free safety. Carpenter on Turner. As he closes in, Turner wheels to the inside. Carpenter not a real strong tackler. He's not a real big man. He's a good cover man, but not real strong tackler, as you can see here. That's the book on him anyway.
That is the 6th first down for Seattle. They now have the ball at the 32-yard line of the Buffalo Bills with a 1st and 10. Largent is wide to the right. Handoff goes straight ahead to Harris, and he is tackled by Johnson for a loss on the play. At best, he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Bills using what I call that sink defense. They take their defensive end and they sink him inside the position he normally plays. And it plays a little havoc with your blocking pattern. It's not that magnificent in terms of fouling up blocking patterns, but it helped in that particular play.
There you see the numbers on Franco Harris, 147 yards. Average not too good, 2.6 yards per carry. Loss of a yard on the play, 2nd down and 11. Largent in motion. Gets good protection, does Craig, and completes it to Turner across the middle. And Turner is dropped by Don Wilson at about the 17 or 18-yard line. Turner with good speed, making a good move to get open across the middle.
They had double coverage on Largent. He was looking for Largent first, and now caught Turner on the backside coming into the middle. The safeties moved to the other side of the field away from Turner in order to double cover Largent, and it was a good read by Craig to find his secondary receiver.
3 catches, 59 yards, a touchdown for Darrell Turner today. It's first down, the ball resting at the 18-yard line. Seattle with a 17-14 lead. Started this drive at their own 36-yard line. Craig going to the air, gets some pressure, throws it over to the middle of Turner. And Turner makes the catch, but he is stopped by Eugene Marv at about the 16-yard line.
Pure zone defense took away the deep routes. All the quarterback can do is look for somebody dragging short. Defensively, you counter that by just reacting quickly when the ball's in the air out of the zone. Marv did that.
Seattle moving more to the passing game, as you suggested they might, Marv.
I felt they almost had to, Rick, because the Bills were really up there stopping the running game very strong, particularly on early downs. Passing downs, they were playing the pass.
They have moved Eric Lane wide to the left to pass. A looper dog for Turner, and it is incomplete, but a flag is down, and they're going to call Brian Carpenter for pass interference. They are going to call him for pass interference. Carpenter very upset over it.
I don't blame him. I don't think it was either. I don't think it was. It was the same blitz that they've been using in passing situations. It left them one-on-one. What they called was a quick pattern, just a 2-step back and try and hit the receiver on a fade route.
Pass interference, number 30 in the end zone.
Pass interference is called in the end zone. That'll put the ball at the 1-yard line with a 1st and goal.
Blitz right up the middle with Chris Keating coming unblocked. He unloads. Carpenter is making a legitimate effort for the ball. I think it's a wrong call.
Okay, Coach Marv Levy. Expertise on that play. It's 1st and goal. for Seattle at the 1-yard line. Hughes and Lane in the backfield. Lane gets it moving out and into the end zone. Eric Lane with the touchdown. His 3rd of the year.
That was a quick count, quick sweep play. At ground level, they're going, sweeping to the left side. Pretty good pursuit out of Eugene Marv. They stop him for a short gain, but short gain's no good there when there's a yard to go.
Well, that moves Seattle out in front, 23-14. And Norm Johnson will attempt the extra point with Jim Zorn holding. And the kick is good. Timeout on the field here at the Kingdome. The score, the Seahawks 24 and the Bills 14. Rick Azar with Marv Levy at the Kingdome, where the Seahawks have just put on their best offensive show of the day. A 6-play, 64-yard drive that lasted 3 minutes and 6 seconds and finished up with a touchdown by Eric Lane on a 1-yard run. Seattle 24-14 as Van Williams comes up with the kickoff. Makes a move over the 15 to about the 17-yard line. Kickoff returns have not been particularly good for Buffalo today. They have failed to get it to the 20-yard line.
Well, they have, but one of the things that's making it that way, Norm Johnson is kicking that ball off very high, over 4-second hang times. Their covers are down about their lead covers are down at the 22, 23-yard line. I've been watching when the ball has been fielded. As a result, it's pretty hard to get it out there when you can kick that high.
We talked about Norm Johnson and Jeff West, their good averages, and you say, well, it's not too bad when there's a cover on the building here.
Makes a big difference. It helps their confidence, too, because they succeed a lot more and they get better just on that basis.
1st and 10 for the Bills at their own 17-yard line. Joe Ferguson has gone all the way, takes the handoff, and then throws it out to Greg Bell over the 20 to about the 21-yard line. Robinson made the tackle.
This is one of the hardest things to teach a young quarterback. You run a play-action pass, you look downfield. If it's not there, hit your outlet receiver. The young quarterback, it takes him 4 years before he realizes to throw that guy. He winds up getting a sack or an interception instead.
Gain of 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6. They mark the ball at the 21-yard line. Greg Bell, in the last 3 games, played very, very well for Buffalo. Been very, very productive. That's Booker Moore, gets out to the 25-yard line, but there's another flag down. Kenny Easley made the tackle, number 45 for Seattle.
A good stutter step move there by Booker Moore.
Let's see what this penalty is all about. Like a hold against Buffalo. Here we go.
Holding, number 73, 2nd down.
The hold is against Jim Borchardt. Washington now leading Dallas 24-7 in the 3rd quarter. There's Borchardt. Here's a look at the hold.
He's the right guard. It's hard to tell if he holds or not, but oh yes, he's wrestling him down. He's wrestling his man down to the ground.
And that makes it 2nd down and 16 for the Bills at their own 11-yard line. Handoff goes to Bell. Gets up to the 15 to the 16-yard line. Easily in on the tackle again.
Bell is a strong runner. I had him pictured more as an elusive type. Not that he lacks elusiveness, but he is a strong runner with very good balance when he takes a good blow. And I'm impressed that he's going to continue to develop and become a very outstanding running back.
Brings up a 3rd down and 11 now with the ball at the 16-yard line. 10 minutes and 15 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter, with Seattle with a 24-14 lead over the Buffalo Bills as the Bills go into a shotgun formation.
Careful on this down. I hate this one. Deep in your own territory, 3rd and long.
Good rush pass. Complete. I believe it was Greg Bell who came up with that catch. No, it was Preston Denard, number 83. Preston Denard with a great catch out at the 34-yard line, giving the Bills their 9th first down.
There's your veteran receiver. Not a lot of speed, but his concentration remains keen right to the end. He came up with a very big play because it gets them out of that deep, deep trouble area that they were in. You hate to throw that ball in the middle when you're deep in your own territory, but sometimes you have to do it.
All right, that gives the Bills a first down at the 34-yard line. Backs move out of the eye. 2 tight ends. A run by Bell. Goes inside and shoves his way up to about the 37 or 38-yard line. Showing some of that strength that you just mentioned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He drove back linebacker Greg Gaines, a big, strong outside linebacker, number 56. He had made contact with him, but Bell lowered it, got underneath the pads, underneath Gaines's pads, was able to get an extra couple of yards out of it.
Byron Franklin and Greg Bell come out. White and Dawkins go in for Buffalo. White will go into a slot to the right side. Dawkins goes wide to the right. Ferguson's throw is good to White, and he gets the first down as he moves out to about the 47 or 48-yard line. Craig White, the rookie, an 11th round draft choice from Missouri, 6'1", 194-pounder, a good possession type receiver.
You see Ferguson backing straight up on that last pass. We're getting a look at it, and he just was reading the defense and threw to White. Why does a quarterback back up? Because he's anticipating a blitz from his left, or his first option is to throw to his left. Ferguson read it, decided to come the other way, rightly so.
10 first downs now for Buffalo as Greg Bell goes in motion on 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. The handoff goes to Booker Moore, and he gets nothing.
A lot of penetration there by the defensive left end, Jacob Green. Sort of broke down the timing and rhythm on the play.
You saw the sign, we should have patented the wave. They are absolutely right, because it's being done all over the league now. And it's even being done in baseball games. But it's Seattle's. It was born right here, the wave.
I went to an opera the other night. They were doing it.
All right, it's 2nd down and 11. Loss of a yard on the play. The ball at the 47-yard line. Handoff goes to Bell straight up the middle. Gets to the 50-yard line. Jeff Bryant, number 77, one of the tacklers. Joe Harris, the other, number 44. And that will bring up a 3rd down situation and 8 yards to go. Bell with 20 carries for 73 yards today.
Bringing in shotgun personnel, I imagine that's what we'll be seeing here on 3rd and 8. And Seattle has all those defensive backs in the game. Just 1 linebacker, 4 linemen, 6 DBs.
Mitchell Brookins is wide to the right side. He has Byron Franklin there. Preston Denard is in. So is Julius Dawkins. They're coming hard and fast, but Ferguson gets the pass off. It's intended for Franklin. He gets it for a touchdown.
You know, he went right between double coverage. He was double coverage. They both sat down, expecting him to break their way in and out.
What a great catch by Byron Franklin. Ferguson is down on the play, however.
He was caught in a sandwich there. He went right between Easley and Terry Jackson.
A great throw by Joe Ferguson, but he has paid for it. He is down at his own 39-yard line.
The only thing I would hope on Ferguson there, both of the men hit him high, what appeared to be high, so maybe it's just wind or bruised ribs. I just hope it's not down around those legs where an ankle or a knee would have gotten injured.
I think he just got, I think you called it just right, Marv.
He's up and walking off, which it was a great throw. Kenny Easley was covering him on the outside, Terry Jackson on the inside.
Whoa, what happened? We're still on.
each expecting him to break in their own direction. He just kept going right down the seam, and Ferguson hit him for the touchdown.
Well, there you see Joe Ferguson. Probably just got the wind knocked out of him a little bit and was dazed a little bit. He's back up on his feet over on the sideline. A great pass by Joe Ferguson as he hit Byron Franklin with a 50-yard touchdown pass. And the Bills are right back into this football game. Seattle came out to open the second half with a march of 60-some-odd yards for a touchdown to take the lead. And Buffalo has come right back with an 83-yard march, 8 plays, and a 50-yard touchdown pass from Joe Ferguson to Byron Franklin. Tapped it off.
No, you talk about reading coverages. He threw to, quote, the wrong receiver. He was double covered. But Sonny Jurgensen did that. Joe Namath did it. Terry Bradshaw. They don't read coverages that well. They just have ability, and they hit the man.
It's okay if the ball is long enough and far enough. Joe Danello converts the extra point. And the score now, Seattle 24, the Bills 21. 8 plays, 83 yards. It took them 5 minutes and 2 seconds. 50-yard pass. Joe Ferguson to Byron Franklin, making the score. Seattle 24 and Buffalo 21. And we have the kickoff coming now. Danello to Dixon at the goal line. Dixon had an excellent return before, not a bad one now, as he gets it out to about the 23-yard line, where the stop is made by Steve Potter, number 58, the linebacker.
I'll tell you, Potter and Dean Prater have both done an excellent job on these special teams since being added. Dean is another player who I recall at Kansas City when he played there was an outstanding special teams performer. Very good coverage man, even for a big person.
1st and 10 for Seattle. The ball at the 24-yard line as Largent comes out to the right side. Turner is out to the left. Metzlars, the tight end, handoff. Goes to number 43, Randall Morris. Gets to the 25. Stop made by Sean McNanny, number 95, who has been pressed into action because Ben Williams has a bruised shoulder.
Bills continuing to look very strong against the run. However, I think I saw a flag.
And it looks like it's going to go against Buffalo. There was a rip. Yes, it is against the Bills. Face mask.
I believe he called it on Fred Smerlis, 76. So.
That brings the ball out to the 31-yard line. And it's...
Here we see in very slow motion a repeat of the play.
Was not made on the tackle, as you can see. All right, it's 1st down. Pass. Complete to the tight end, Metzler. At the Buffalo Bills 43-yard line. Don Wilson made the tackle, number 21. They're moving it back to the 44.
I believe that was the first tight end reception. As we take a look here, delivers right down the seam to that great big fella, 6'7", an outstanding collegiate basketball player at Little Wabash College in Indiana. The Seahawks have thrown only 17 this season to their tight ends and only 6 coming into this game to their running backs. Heavily predominant throwing to their wide receivers.
Metzler has had 4 receptions coming into this game for 55 yards. It's 1st and 10 at the Bills' 44. Craig completes it to Largent. How it got by Charlie Romes, I don't know. Charlie Romes looked like he had a beat on that one all the way, waved at it, and it got thrown to Largent.
Well, I tell you, that was a magnificent throw. They rolled up. Largent was going to run a quick out, but they rolled up the zone on that side, so Largent's supposed to turn up field and fade away. Craig lays it right over Largent runs you can run too fast because you'll get to the deep part of the zone, gets those feet down and rings every last inch out of it. This guy is a great receiver. You talk about an overachiever. There he is, Steve Largent.
He's caught a pass in 98 consecutive games. The handoff goes to Morris. Morris tries the left side, gets to about the 25-yard line. Chris Keating, number 52, in on the tackle along with Eugene Marv. Sean McNanny also over there.
I tell you, the Bills have had a lot of heartbreak on defense in this game because they're playing very hard, doing things very well, and there have been some fine throws in this drive. For the first time, Craig looks like he has a great feel. I shouldn't say that this is the only time because he hit that fine touchdown to Largent early in the game, too.
Morris is a 10th-round draft choice for Seattle out of Tennessee, 6-footer, 183 pounds. Second down and 7. The ball at the 25-yard line. Largent reads the blitz. It's blocked and intercepted by Fred Smerlas. Fred Smerlas running the ball back, and he runs out of bounds.
Those running backs like to protect themselves, you know. They're going to accuse him of the Franco Harris routine. But
what an excellent run back by Fred Smerlas. He must have run out of bounds. He didn't want to lose that ball.
They brought all 4 of their linebackers here, and then we get a hand up on a line stunt. I believe it was Ken Johnson who tipped it, and Smerlas picks it off and
he made a right turn. He looked at the middle of the field. He must have seen an awful lot of blue jerseys over there and decided to make a right-hand turn.
I'll tell you the reason he ran out of bounds. It was pretty good thinking. He does not want to fumble that ball.
Exactly.
After the man is not used to handling it, he got about as much out of it as he could and figured, I don't want to get hit, and have the ball pop out.
Smart play by Fred Smerlas, giving the Bills the ball at the Seattle 49-yard line. And turnovers continue to play an important part in this game. 4 minutes and 9 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. The score is Seattle 24, Buffalo 21, and we have got ourselves a whale of a ball game going here, Marv.
It sure is. It's very exciting. A lot of turnovers in it. Some people think that mars a game. I don't. You have to work for a lot of those turnovers. It's been back and forth ever since the Bills put on their rally to get themselves back in the game late in the second quarter. Very exciting game. Going back to Fred Smerlas' interception, the reason I advanced for stepping out of bounds, I would stand on very strongly. I've never seen him really seek to avoid any contact.
No, that's for sure. Okay, the Bills huddling, and we'll put the ball in play at the 49-yard line of Seattle. Some excellent play. I think you made a very good reference, Marv, to the fact that the turnovers that we've seen in this game have been turnovers not of mistakes and things like that. They have been caused. The good block punts, the interceptions here because the ball was batted down. It's been that kind of a football game. Joe Ferguson, who was shaken up after throwing that 50-yard touchdown pass, is back in the ball game. He's going to throw again. Does. A screen to Booker Moore. They're going to call it complete or incomplete. Now they're calling it incomplete. Keith Butler caused that. Number 72, Joe Nash, wanted to run with it.
No question about it. This is an incompletion. We can judge for ourselves right now. Moore, it was a middle screen, but Moore had to come off to the side, away. Now, I never brought the ball in. We had a sideline view as we sit here in the booth, and he never really had it under control with 2 feet down on the ground.
I'm sure Joe Nash figured, hey, if Fred Smerlas can run with the ball, so can I. All right, second down 10, ball at the 49. Backs in an I formation. Move out of it. Booker Moore goes up into the wing. Ferguson throwing deep. And it's incomplete.
He only had one.
Nobody out there.
Only one. Well, I'll tell you why. He threw it out there where no one was out there because Byron Franklin was triple covered on the play. They had double coverage on him, and the free safety came over to help because he was the only receiver out. They were in a running formation. He faked a running play, tried to sucker them up into it, but he was covered.
Buffalo now 4 out of 9 in third down conversions, and they have another one facing them at the moment. 10 yards to go. They have failed to move the ball after Fred Smerlas interception.
Almost identical to their touchdown situation at the 50, 3rd and long.
Shotgun formation. Ferguson's going to have to get rid of it. Does, and it is complete. There's a flag down, however, after Denard's catch. Let's see what they're going to call here. They're going to call it against the Bills. Holding against Buffalo.
Oh, that one hurts them. Really, he was looking for the same pattern that he had scored the touchdown on the previous possession. Looking deep for Byron Franklin down the slot on the right side. Franklin was covered, so he came off to Denard very well under a lot of pressure, but the penalty certainly is injurious. Now 3rd and very long.
3rd and 20 as Julius Dawkins goes into the game and Greg Bell comes out. The ball now back to the Bills' 41-yard line. 3 minutes 50 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. It's 24-21. Seahawks leading the Bills.
Screen a second ago, we saw Chuck talking to the official. He was saying, good call, good call.
Buffalo been penalized 9 times, 79 yards. Seattle 5 times for 43 yards. Out of the shotgun formation again on 3rd and 20. The rush is on. Fanning was after him. That's Nash after him. Penalty flag is down again at the line of scrimmage. If it's against Buffalo, you can bet that Seattle will decline it. Illegal motion against the Bills. The penalty will be declined, and Buffalo will have its punting team out.
You know, that's the kind of situation, if you're on the other side, on Seattle side, 3rd and 22, and you get an illegal chuck, it becomes an automatic first down. You just tell your player, don't foul him on 3rd and long. We work so hard to get him there. Bend over backwards to avoid a penalty.
The turnover goes for naught for the Bills as they fail to move the ball. The penalty, of course, hurting them. They had achieved the first down on the pass to Denard, but the holding penalty moved the ball back. High pass from center, and Kidd does well to get the ball off. Taken by Easley. Easley gets shoved out of bounds as he gets to the 38-yard line.
Seattle very close to blocking that punt. Dave Brown, number 22, is close, but they did an excellent job after rushing the punt of peeling to their own left side to set up a wall, and easily came pretty close to breaking it there. Finally ran out of sideline.
33-yard punt for John Kidd.
And Eugene Marv came over to make a good play and shove him out, too.
Ball is at the 39-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks. 1st and 10. As Largent again comes wide to the right side. Metzlars is the tight end on the right side. White Scales in the game at the other wide receiver. Eric Lane gets the call. That is the best run from scrimmage for Seattle today as Lane crosses the 45 to the 46-yard line. Good run by Eric Lane.
Good hard run. Once he came wide, found the crease, and stuck it up very strong into the small crease that there was in order to pick up some yardage.
Gain of 7 yards on the play.
They do not have big running backs. Lane at about 195 and Randall Morse at 200 aren't real big so far as running backs go.
It's 2nd down. They got it. They got it. You could just see that Craig was giving him the long count, and he got Fred Smerlas to jump offside. Flags are down.
The Seattle quarterbacks are very good at voice inflection. Zorn is one of the best in the league, although he hasn't seen action today. And I'm sure when a young quarterback gets with a quarterback who's good at it, he learns quite a bit. Craig learned that. Defensively, you tell your people, you tell them, you drill them. Don't go on voice, go when the ball moves, but it still happens.
Of course, Chuck Knox had Fred Smerlas in Buffalo for a long time, and he knows that Fred is that kind of a player, very, very anxious, intense player, and he does that a lot. It's 1st and 10. The ball at the 49-yard line of the Bills. Craig fakes the handoff. Throws for Largent, and he says it is incomplete, does the official. That linesman.
Hard to tell. Largent came back for the ball very well. Whether he caught it with part of his body out of bounds is hard to know. He was on the ground when he caught it. Nothing wrong with that. But if any part of his body was touching that white sideline.
That is Jerry Bergman, number 17. He's a well-known official back in Buffalo for having made a call several years ago in Miami that cost the Bills a win over the Dolphins. So it's 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 49. Craig to throw again. And he dumps it off to Eric Lane, and he couldn't hold on to it.
Again, it was a blitz. 3 of the 4 linebackers were blitzing. That left, I believe, Stan David,
correct,
number 59, to cover one-on-one against Eric Lane. It's a tough assignment. David was a strong safety as a collegian, and if anybody should be equipped to do it, it would be a man who's had that kind of experience. Lane gave him a good move and got free. The rush had a lot of heat on Craig, but he was still able to step up and deliver. The Bills were fortunate that Lane was unable to hold on to the ball.
Stan David, a 7th-round draft choice for Buffalo this year, 6'3", 210 out of Texas Tech. Now it's 3rd and 10 as Seattle goes into their shotgun formation. Turner is wide right. Craig looking to the left, almost a sack, and then is still on his feet, still running up with the ball. What a running back. He got to the 45-yard line.
I'll tell you, though, what I was impressed by was the way that the Bills kept getting up off that ground and continued to pour and help head off the 1st down. They gave the same look that they've been giving on the blitz, but then their linebackers pulled out and they covered. So that was mostly linemen. Now watch here. Watch Smurlus get up. He reaches, can't get him. Craig's more nimble. Somebody else takes a shot around the ankles and misses, but he's right back up on his feet, as you can see here. And the man who got up made the tackle, saved the 1st down. Somebody coming in from the other side. I tell you, there's great effort, great hustle being displayed by the Bills on defense today.
That was Darryl Talley. As we see Jeff West punting the ball very, very high. Wilson isn't even going to bother with it. Takes a bounce and out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Excellent punt by Jeff West. Minnesota and the Raiders 13-13 in the 3rd quarter. San Francisco is now leading Pittsburgh 17-10 in the 4th quarter. Washington, what a number they're doing on the Cowboys. 34-7 in the 4th quarter. 39-yard punt for Jeff West. An excellent one as it went out of bounds at the, well, they're going to mark at the 7-yard line.
That is an outstanding punt, Rick. It's statistics we kept during the time when I was coaching indicate if you can punt the ball inside the 10-yard line, keep the team in there, that 70% of the time on your next possession you're going to get points. Now, not 100%, but 70% of the time. It might be interesting to see if this falls into that category.
Interesting that you mentioned percentages, because if Chuck Knox is anything, he's a percentage coach.
Absolutely. Prime example of a man who believes it.
Joe Ferguson hands the ball off to Greg Bell. Bell gets close to the 10-yard line. Gain of 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7, and you won't see the Bills doing much more than that this deep in their own territory. 1 minute and 15 seconds remain here in the 3rd quarter. The score is Seahawks 24, the Bills 21. This game started out as though it was going to be a walk for Seattle as they scored 17 quick points in the 1st quarter. The Bills came back with 14 in the 2nd quarter, and each has scored a touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 6 from the 11. Hand off to Bell. Bell makes a move inside, gets up to about the 16-yard line. He's going to be shy of the 1st down. Lucius Sanford now joins the Bills injury list. He has a hamstring pull. May return to the game.
That's probably why Stan David was in. This is a very crucial down here. It's 3rd and about 1.5 yards to go. And if they Seahawks can force them to punt. They have excellent field position. If the Bills can pick up the first down, they can now operate normally.
Jim Haslett was also injured in the game, but we see him on the sidelines. There's a... Well, let's see if they're going to give this to Greg Bell. Where they mark the ball is of vital importance at the moment. It may be a first down. It may not be.
Very close. The quarter ended. Bell made a good effort. He tried to lurch forward after his pins were knocked out from under him.
The score, Seattle 24, the Bills 21. Fourth quarter action will start after this message. Stevenson and Chuck Knox just 3 points apart in this game. Knox with 24, Stevenson with 21. As we start the fourth quarter, the Bills have a first down at their 17-yard line. Giants 19-7 over Atlanta. Final. Jets over Cleveland 24-20 final. Detroit over Tampa Bay 13-7 in overtime. Miami over Houston 28-10. It's 24-21 here with the fourth quarter to go as Ferguson dumps a pass out to Greg Bell. Makes a good stutter step as he gets to the 21-yard line.
Bell put a great move on Kenny Easley, who had reacted up after the ball was thrown. Easley in a relatively short zone. Maybe we'll get a chance to see it here. Ferguson looking downfield. It's covered. He dumps off to Bell. Kenny Easley comes up, breaks down in good tackling form. Oh, I see. I missed him.
Good block by Byron Franklin.
Byron Franklin got a block. I'm not sure it was all where it was supposed to be. Some of it looked like it was from behind him a little bit.
One of those out-of-the-way blocks. Buffalo with a total of 230 yards offensively after three quarters. Seattle with a total of 149. It's 2nd and 7. The ball at the 20. And off to Bell. Bell spins off of one tackle. Maybe gains 4 yards on the play. No more. Where Keith Butler, number 53, made the tackle. So many times, Coach, you see a run like that, and you wonder, why didn't the back move to the right? Because there's so much space over on the right side. Instead, he seems to go into the pile as we look at some more finals today.
Well, a lot of times his momentum is carrying him forward. For him to be able to stop and change direction, he can't do it. And you have to run on instinct. You can't tell a man too much how to run. But you probably can criticize a runner more than almost anybody. It's difficult.
3rd and 4, shotgun formation for the Bills. Pass is complete to Bell. Bell still on his feet trying for the first down. He may not have gotten it, but there are 2 flags down. Holding is going to be called against Buffalo.
Oh, that hurts.
That's the second time now. They had an interception at the 50-yard line, converted a first down on a pass to Preston Denard. Holding pushed them back. They had to give up the ball. Now, Bell looked as though he was very, very close to a first down, but a holding penalty is going to pull him out of that one.
Cody, number 53. Third down.
Holding is called on Will Grant. That moves the ball back to the 13-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 14. And this isn't the spot on the field that you like to get very fancy, is it, Coach?
No, 3rd and 14 way back here. You're very much in the game with a lot of time left to play. 13:41. You don't take too big a chance. Throw short and let the back run for the yardage, or run the ball and punt and play defense again. One place you don't like to throw is in the middle.
He's throwing it deep for Preston Denard. Denard makes the catch. Preston Denard made the catch. The ball at the Seattle Seahawks 39-yard line.
Well, it's a good thing that Kay wasn't listening to me on that one. They came up with a great play. They worked on Terry Taylor, number 1 draft choice. Comes in a nickel defense. And Denard with his height and a fine throw again by Ferguson. Ferguson's been throwing the long ball very well today. Lays that one out there just beautifully. Denard goes up and gets it at its height. That's quite a speedy defender on him in Terry Taylor. And Terry can really jump. He has a 38-inch vertical jump, which is quite good.
48-yard gain on the play, and puts the Bills in Seattle territory, where they were faced with a 3rd and 14. That's deep in their own territory.
Very big play for them.
Buster Barnett, the man in motion. Handoff goes to Greg Bell. Bell up the middle, breaks it, and gets inside the 20-yard line.
How the momentum can change.
Greg Bell showing an excellent burst of speed there. Looked like he was stopping, zapped right through.
Once he broke it, that must put him over 100 yards for the day, I'm sure.
Dave Brown finally made the tackle.
There's
right
a
there
missed
where he
tackle.
broke it. Right.
Missed tackle there, but I think it was by, well, I won't guess. I saw the 4, and I was going to say Terry Jackson, but I'm not sure that it was.
Bell, 26 carries, 111 yards, as the ball is now at the 17-yard line of Seattle with 1st and 10 for the Bills. Handoff goes to Bell again. Bell crosses the 15, gets down to the 14-yard line. Kenny Easley made the tackle, number 45 for Seattle.
Bell beginning to look a bit tired. He's had to carry the ball a lot of times. I'm sure he's over 25 right
27.
now.
That was his 27th carry.
27 carries and well over 100 yards. By well over, I mean comfortably over anyway.
It'll be 2nd down and 7 as Bell gained 3 yards on that play. 12 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in this football game, and it's been a whale of a game. Handoff goes to Speedy Neal straight up the middle, and Neal gets to about the 7-yard line.
I think there's a flag, and I think they probably are going to call the Seahawks offside, something very similar to what happened to Smurless earlier in this half.
Well, if they have the 1st down, it matters little, but if they don't, they'll probably take the penalty. Offside.
Looks like that happened.
There it is. It'll be 1st and goal now for Buffalo with the ball on the 7-yard line.
The gain was more than the penalty would have given.
Correct. Somebody has forgotten to pick up his flag over here. All right, the official is now coming over to get it. 1st and goal for Buffalo. They have trailed throughout this game, but the score is 24-21 at the moment.
They've been 2 tight ends since they got down here inside the 20. Power running formation.
The wide receiver is Byron Franklin to the right side. Greg Bell straight up the middle, gets inside the 5 to the 4, maybe the 3. The running game has been very, very important for both teams today. In one way, the Bills have been successful running the ball. Obviously, Bell well over 115 yards. But that man, I was going to say that man when we saw Chuck Knox, but here is Kay Stevenson. Chuck Knox has had difficulty getting his running game going, and as you pointed out before the game, that was something that Chuck Knox wanted to do for his offense to be successful today.
He feels he has to. Here they are in a power formation out on the 3-yard line with 3 downs to go. That's appropriate.
Pass goes into the corner for Barnett. It's overthrown purposely, I believe, by Joe Ferguson.
Yes, Joe was backing up under a heavy rush. You couldn't lay that ball right in there with the strictures that the end zone would put on you. He threw it away outside of everybody's grasp, and he has another opportunity.
Paul Moyer, 2nd-year man out of Arizona State, 6-footer, pretty good size, 201 pounds. So it'll be 3rd down and goal from the 3-yard line. Ferguson 9 out of 20, 1 interception, 197 yards so far in this game, and we have 11 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. The Bills are going to go to their shotgun formation to try to get this score, which will be a go-ahead score for them.
Will they run a draw off of it?
They
Not a bad idea. Nope.
They don't. Ferguson throws, complete, touchdown. What a move by Preston Denard.
Preston Denard was sure the hero of this drive. A fine inside move back out. Ferguson drills the ball so that it gets there in a hurry before Denard is out of bounds, under pressure.
I hope we get another angle of that one because Denard just made a super move on the play.
He was working on Dave Brown on that play.
There's a flag down. Preston Denard's fourth touchdown of the year.
It might have been a spike. I think it was that demonstration that is outlawed this year. I didn't see the demonstration, but
I didn't either, but no more of that stuff, right? All right, Joe Danello. will try to give the Bills a very important 4-point lead. And he does.
He made a very good point. 4 points precludes the field goal to beat him.
There's timeout on the field. The score here in Seattle, the Bills 28, the Seahawks 24. We have a replay on that touchdown pass, Coach.
Yes, Ferguson throwing under a lot of heat, and Denard thinking he's a little closer to the sideline than he is. You see him dragging his feet there, but he made a beautiful move to the inside. We don't get that different angle look that you would hope for, but we get a look at it again, and it was a fine play by both men, and Denard was certainly a hero on that drive. Ferguson to Denard, because the big 3rd and 14 when they were buried deep in their territory, and now the touchdown pass.
12 plays, 93 yards, and here is the kickoff. Flags down as Dixon is carrying the ball over the 30, gets knocked out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. And we have one of the Buffalo Bills down holding his knee on the sideline. Zach Dixon, the penalty is going to be going against Seattle.
That's Gary Thompson down. Now, he's one of the backs that the Bills bring in their nickel defense, and that would certainly hurt. He's up now, though, and apparently just got a good bruise on it, limping a little bit, but it's sort of that gingerly limp that I'll be okay in a minute type of a walk.
Joe Devlin had been injured. He is back in the game. Jim Hazel is not. Ben Williams had problems with his shoulder, and he has not returned. Sean McNanny has played at left defensive end and played well. 1st and 10 for Seattle at the 12-yard line. Handoff goes to Lane. Lane spins over the 15-yard line. Kenny Johnson in on the tackle, along with Darryl Talley. Gain of 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Eric Lane has done a lot of running for Seattle today, as has Randall Morris. Not so much for Franco Harris. We had expected to see him carry the ball a lot, but he has not. It's 2nd and 6. Craig back to throw. Gets it out to Hughes. He is tackled by Eugene Marv as he gets over the 25 to the 26-yard line. David Hughes, a 4-year veteran out of Boise State.
As we look at it again, we see Craig looking downfield. He's in dangerous territory for himself, particularly this late in the game. No one's there. I'm going to dump off to my back. This fellow is a fine control receiver, David Hughes is. One game, Kansas City against Seattle, he caught 12 balls against us.
Pete Metzlars is the man who is being tended to on the field. The tight end, they can ill afford to lose him. He started the game today in place of Charlie Young, the veteran tight end.
Charlie's hurting too, so they would be down to this one tight end,
Mike Tice.
Mike Tice, who caught the touchdown, the only touchdown in the preseason game that was played between these two teams. Well, earlier in the game, we talked, Rick, about what the keys to the keys to this game is. We said the performance of Ferguson was going to be very important. It's certainly been impressive to me.
Yes.
The matchup of Carpenter against their receivers, and they have worked on Carpenter with some degree of success, although he's played very hard. There we see Tice going off, looking as if he's hurt his leg enough to incapacitate him the rest of this game. And then also the ability of the Bills to establish some semblance of a running game we felt was very important. They've certainly done that. And they remained patient in trying to do it, even when they were behind 17-0.
Right.
They also speculated that Chuck Knox really felt, whether he has running backs or doesn't have running back, he's got to make the run go, and that the Bills accordingly would try and stack their defense to stop the run, which they certainly did in the first half. And now they're trying to make changes.
Well, Metzlars is being taken into the dressing room. We're sad to report. Excellent tight end with tremendous size, 6'7", 240-pounder with excellent speed, too. It's 1st and 10 now for Seattle with the ball at the 26-yard line. Backs in an I formation. Craig to throw out of it. Has a man wide open on the right side, and he is brought down as he crosses the 45 to the 46-yard line, and that would be, you bet, Steve Largent. Charlie Romes made the tackle.
Beautiful route by Largent. Romes was quite a way off of him, but they were in a zone defense. Romes had the deep outside, and they're counting on the linebacker to cover underneath. Yes, enough time to just loft the ball over. I believe it's Darryl Talley, and then Romes is able to close in and make the tackle. But they've moved out of dangerous territory into what can become threatening territory now, nearly in midfield.
You talked about Ferguson earlier, 10 for 21 so far. Here's Craig throwing it out to Eric Lane, and Lane is stopped immediately by Darryl Talley. He may have gained a yard, he may not. Here's an upset in the making. Minnesota 20, the Raiders 13. That's in the third quarter. Won't last, you think?
Well, I don't know. The Raiders aren't real explosive offensively. Every one they've won this year, most of them have been very close. I think it could last. Minnesota's been getting better. How's that for riding the fence?
All right. Washington 34-14 over Dallas. Look at the yardage. 323 for Buffalo. Seattle 186. And the score is 28-24 Buffalo. You would think from looking at those numbers that Buffalo is walking away with this game. They are not. It's 2nd and 8. Ray going to the air, looking around. Now he's in trouble. Finally passes it out to no one. It was intended, I believe, for Darrell Turner. But he had to get rid of that and get rid of it fast.
He really was looking just for an open piece of real estate. It's not grass, it's turf, to throw the ball to, so he wouldn't get the sack. Buffalo, now anticipating the pass, is stunning their linemen just about every down, trying to get heat on Dave Craig.
They go with their nickel or dime, or is it a quarter defense now, Coach?
Well, that's what 5 was nickel, 6 defensive backs is dime, 7 is quarter, and I guess if you put in 8, which you could do, 3 linemen, you call it dollar.
Booker Moore joins the injury list for Buffalo. He has bruised ribs, probably will not return. Seattle 2 for 9 in third down conversions. They face another 3rd and 8 as they go into the shotgun formation.
Showing blitz, the Bills are. Here they come.
They're coming. But Craig gets it off. And Largent is all by himself as Charlie Romes fell down.
There's the danger inherent in the blitz. There's nothing wrong with it. They've had great success doing it, and Rome's falling down. I don't even see the move on Largent. We see Rome's fall. Largent gives him a great inside move. When he cuts back out, Romes loses his footing, and Largent waltzes in with the go-ahead score. Look out, 5 yards.
Right.
Spike that.
Romes isn't even in the picture. Largent walks in his 51-yard reception, and that gives Seattle the lead once again. Another important extra point coming up. Johnson splits the uprights, and that makes the score. Seattle Seahawks 31, the Bills 28. Back in a moment.
Yes, we know it's a big play.
The Kingdom, the Seattle Seahawks have just taken the lead, 31-28, in what has proved to be a whale of a football game. They just did it on this 51-yard touchdown pass from Dave Craig to Steve Largent, who had made a move on Charlie Romes, who fell down, and Largent just waltzed into the end zone for the score. Here's the kickoff. High kickoff to Wilson at the 2. Wilson makes a move to get outside and only gets back to the 17-yard line. Again, as you pointed out, that high kickoff gives the Seahawks a chance to get downfield. The Bills, on every kickoff today, have failed to get to the 20-yard line.
Well, their coverage was right at the 20. There are a lot of people down there, including Schultz. Dornink I saw out in front on the coverage. Their coverage has been magnificent. Their teams are coached by Rusty Tillman. Rusty was a member of the special teams captain with the Redskins when I was an assistant there years ago, and he was an outstanding player and coverage man, and he's rubbed off a lot of this enthusiasm on his players.
All right, they placed the ball at the 18-yard line. A point I want to make, Marv Levy, in just a moment. Remind me. All right. The wave is on. Ferguson throws complete out to Craig Bell at the 25-yard line. The point I wanted to make, Coach, is the score is 31-28. The Bills hold the odd point. That's very important. A touchdown gives them a 4-point lead, and all they need is a field goal to tie the game.
Absolutely. Plus, even an additional field goal by the Seahawks gives them just a 6-point bulge, which doesn't put it away.
7 minutes, 25 seconds. The clock ticking off. Second down, 3 for the Bills at their own 25-yard line. Barnett goes in motion again. Handoff goes to Speedy Neal straight up the middle. Neal gets the first down and more as he crosses the 35 to about the 30, rather, to about the 33-yard line.
This is a good old-time rock'em sock'em football game. One thing that has impressed me, and I've been impressed by both teams, honestly, but one that has impressed me about the Bills, the last 2 scores that the Seahawks have cashed in, they've come right back and countered with a score of their own.
The ball is at the 33-yard line. Another first down for Buffalo. They have 17 in this game. The Seahawks have 15. Byron Franklin comes wide to the right side. Preston Denard is out to the left. Ferguson calls signals, hands the ball off to Greg Bell. He's stopped behind the line of scrimmage on an excellent play by Bruce Schultz. Second leading tackler on this team, Bruce Schultz, the outside linebacker.
Schultz also is on that kickoff coverage unit, has been doing a good job of it, coming out now in a pass situation. They're in a 2nd and 10. They're anticipating a pass. Right now, Greg Bell has done a yeoman task in there today, but I have the feeling as I look at him that he is tired. He looks like he's getting tired.
Raiders have tied up that game with the Vikings 20-20 in the 4th quarter. Marcus Allen, a 1-yard run. And Detroit leads San Diego 4-3 in the World Series.
There was a mix-up there.
Who recovered the ball?
The Bills recovered. I believe Bell fell on it. As Ferguson comes out, Bell is expecting a handoff on the play.
And it was obviously a passing play.
It was a passing play, and there are times when your signals, the numbers are similar. They have to be similar. There's too many plays and too many numbers. Not the same, but similar, and he can mix them up. And that sometimes is the symptom of that is that he is tired, and his concentration level goes off. And I do think the young man is tired.
30 carries, 117 yards. It's 3rd and 11. What a big play for Buffalo right now. And Joe Ferguson took a look at the defensive setup and said, I want a timeout. So he will come over to the sidelines to confer with Coach Kay Stevenson. What a football game this has been. 5 minutes and 5 seconds left. And Ferguson will be facing Keith Simpson and Terry Taylor and Easley and John Harrison, the defender, and Dave Brown and Terry Jackson. Timeout on the field. The score, the Seahawks 31, the Bills 28. Hear me here at the Kingdome in Seattle. And the reason is the Seattle wave is on. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4. They've got 4 waves going here as the Bills face a 3rd down and 11 from their own 32-yard line with 5 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Joe Ferguson called a timeout, talked it over with Kay Stevenson, goes into the shotgun formation and zips it out, and it's intercepted. It was intended for Mitchell Brookins. He moved outside, the ball went inside, and it was intercepted.
There's a lot of heat on him on the play. Dave Brown picked it off. As we see again, Ferguson looked to the left under a lot of heat. He's having to give ground, couldn't step into his throw, so something had to come off the ball. He had to unload it at this time of the game, 3rd and 11. And Brown reacted to the ball very well for the interception.
That's Brown's 4th interception of the year. It gives Seattle excellent field position at the Buffalo 45-yard line with just 5 minutes left to play. Dave Craig calling signals. Hands the ball off to Eric Lane. He gets to the line of scrimmage. Gain maybe a yard or 2.
The Bills continue to be very stingy against the run.
The defense has been playing fairly well in spite of the 31 points you see up there. They have not, all of them have not been given up by the defense. Most of them have been scored on turnovers and special teams play.
Well, the total yardage figures would certainly indicate that. And then the touchdown they got a moment ago when Charles Romes fell down.
So the Bills defense is going to have to play its best at this moment if they hope to win this game. Hughes gets the call, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. That'll make it a 3rd down. Fred Smerlas and Eugene Marv, number 54, making the tackle.
Good lead block on the play by Eric Lane, but the reaction of the rest of the Buffalo team was very good. He cut down the outside linebacker on the play, but the pursuit was superior.
Pittsburgh has taken the lead again from San Francisco, 20-17. Anderson, a 22-yard field goal. They're in the 4th quarter.
Very big down here. They can keep Seattle out of field goal range by forcing a punt. If they stop this down, they're showing blitz again.
Craig has plenty of time, throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for Dan Dorning.
Just off Dorning's hands. He was covered out there by Shelton Robertson. No, Shelton Robertson on the other team. Lucius Sanford. They both wear 57.
Right.
But Lucius Sanford covering there.
All right. The Bills defense comes up, and Seattle will be forced to punt with 3 minutes and 31 seconds left. West, 5 punts today for an average of 40.4 yards.
Well, he won't get much to add to the average here because he's on the 45-yard line. A good kick. If it goes out to 10, only give him a 35-yarder. He had a 39-yarder earlier that went out.
But that's what he wants to do. He wants to get it to stop somewhere inside the 10-yard line.
Absolutely.
There's the kick. A flag is down. Wilson calls for the fair catch, takes it at about the 12, but there may have been offside on the play. Even if it's against the Bills, it will not be enough.
If it's against the Bills, they'll decline it. They should. Seattle will decline it if it's against the Bills.
Well, let's see what happens.
They should decline it. I don't know if they will.
They won't get a 1st down. They'll probably just take the play.
They've got them on the 12-yard line.
Right. 31-28 is the score. It's been that kind of a game since the 2nd quarter.
It was offside against the Bills. They were trying to block the punt, and Seattle wisely declined it.
Since the 1st quarter, when the Seahawks took a 17-0 lead, we have seen this picture most of the afternoon. Chuck Knox and Kay Stevenson, and they have battled each other just as you would have expected them to. Knox wanting to win this game very badly, obviously, and Stevenson in the same situation. Stevenson has an 0-6 record. He's facing his 7th straight loss. He's got 3 minutes and 26 seconds left to avoid that if he can.
Well, the fact that you have been losing makes the pressure mount on you more. It's unfortunate. You have to be able to continue to think clearly about the game, and I'm sure he will. Kay shows good aplomb in a tough situation.
Bills going to pass. Flag will be down. This is a free one. It looked to be as though Jacob Green jumped offside. The pass is complete to Byron Franklin. Stop made by Keith Simpson, but we'll see what happens.
It was Jacob Green. That is a bigger penalty than you might think, because in this particular situation, it's only 5 yards to go for 1st down.
Right.
It stops the clock without the use of a timeout, and it moves you away from that ominous end zone at your back.
3 minutes, 22 seconds remaining. The ball is now out to the 18-yard line. The Bills a long way from the end zone. Buffalo penalized 12 times so far for 99 yards. Ferguson under a rush, and it's intercepted and dropped.
You know, as I watch the coverage, they're playing what I feel is a hole. You'll see a man drop right into the middle. They want him to throw outside. 56 Gaines drops into the middle, and trying to say, if you read the coverage, you can't throw in there. But he did. Tried to hit the crossing receiver, and Gaines nearly put the game on ice for him there, but couldn't quite hang on.
12 penalties, 99 yards for Buffalo, 7 penalties, 63 yards for Seattle. And the Bills get a big break right there. Greg Gaines dropped a sure interception. It's 2nd down and 5 from the 18. 3:17 remaining in the game. Ferguson gets some protection. He completes it to Greg Bell, but he's short of the first down.
Actually, he was working very hard to just pick up the first down on that one, and there was good reaction by the Seahawk defenders. Now it's 3rd and about a yard. This is a big 3rd down. They probably would go on 4th here.
With 2 minutes and 54 seconds remaining, we have some substitutions as Mark Bramer comes in. So does Buster Barnett. Justin Cross is in the game. That indicates to me 2 tight end possible runs. Speedy Neal. What about you, Coach?
Yes, they certainly, I think they would run. They've got 2 chances to pick it up here, not just one. It's not 3rd down and we're going to punt. There's 2 chances to pick it up. 3rd and 1. Let's see what they do.
They give it to Bell instead, and he is stopped. They move both tight ends over to the left side. But the Seattle defense came up big and stopped Greg Bell. I thought they might go with Speedy Neal, but now they have a 4th down and a yard.
A lot of times, too, if your best blocker is almost more important than your best ball carrier there. 4th and about a foot. They got to go for it. I don't know if they'll get it off before the 2-minute warning or not. They've already used one of their precious 3 timeouts.
That's right. They have 2. Seattle still has 3. Some final scores.
They won't get it off.
San Francisco.
They
upset them.
They're not even
going to try to get it off.
No. And somebody may say, how could you let all that time run off the clock?
Why?
All right. Yeah. I think it was justified in that situation right there. You know, 25 seconds. They did not want to call a timeout. And the down was too darn important to hurry. And they wanted to get together and talk it over. They figured to get down to the 2-minute warning. They still got 2 timeouts to call. The 4th down here, you have to be able to talk this one over.
Time of the 2-minute warning. And with timeout on the field, the score is the Seahawks 31, the Bills 28. Dave Craig on the sidelines. Joe Ferguson in the huddle. It's 4th down and a yard for Buffalo. They trail in this game 31-28. What will the call be? We'll know in seconds. Greg Bell gets the first down.
He was pretty close to breaking that. He was pretty close to breaking it.
That was the kind of a play probably designed to break it, knowing that everybody would be bunched up there on defense, wouldn't they, Coach?
By going wide like that, yes. You may recall the Super Bowl a couple of years ago when John Riggins broke the one that put it on ice. There was a play similar, not identical to that, but in short yardage, 4th down, when they come up, you're just playing goal line defense. If you pop through there, you could go all the way.
32 carries, 119 yards for Bell. 7 seconds remaining on the time clock. A minute and 21 seconds remaining in the game as Ferguson goes back to throw, and it is incomplete. Threw it short, intended for Denard, but they are playing up on them. That was number 22, Dave Brown, playing up on Denard and looking to intercept that ball.
Yes, he was underneath covering him. They had a guy covering deeper, and Brown just drifted with him, and when Denard broke out, Brown tried to break underneath him, which is a coverage that you use. Ferguson having a little more trouble, I think, throwing the out to the left side than he is to the right side. He's not as able to step in. Now, he's getting some pressure. I don't know if his ankle injury makes it more difficult for him to step to the left or not. He completed one early in the game to Greg Bell, but that was downfield rather than an out pattern.
Okay, Mitchell Brookins comes wide to the right. He's in the game as the Bills are in their shotgun formation with 2nd and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Denard is wide to the left. He's looking. Plays, completes it to Byron Franklin, and he is out of bounds as he crosses the 35 to the 36-yard line. And that stops the clock with 1 minute and 11 seconds left to play.
That was within a whisker of being batted away or possibly intercepted. Franklin's concentration was very good, kept his eye on the ball. Brown there again, almost swatting the ball.
Terry Jackson, number 24, almost got to it. That was Terry Taylor making the tackle.
It was Jackson there. They got it. Terry Taylor, number 20. They got Taylor out here matched on Mitchell Brookins wide to the right, and that is speed against speed. But I think they'll back Taylor up with easily once the ball is snapped. They are.
First down. And he's going deep for Brookins. and it is dropped by number 45, Kenny Easley.
He beat Taylor. Easley had to come a long way to back him up, as I mentioned. And for a while, I didn't think he'd do it because Brookins can run like no one else in this football field can run.
Had him beaten.
Here we go. He went by Taylor, who has good speed. You see him just bursting away from Taylor from way over. Here comes Kenny Easley on the inside. Kenny had the deep zone.
Perfect pass, too. It would have been right in Brookins' hands. All right, we have a 2nd down and 10 with 1 minute and 4 seconds to play.
It was a very good call for the situation, in my opinion.
This game has been a whale of a football game, and it's going right down to the final seconds. 2nd and 10, shotgun formation. Ferguson in trouble, throws, and that one is dropped. Ferguson, under tremendous pressure, got rid of the ball rather than be sacked to face a 3rd down back inside his own 20. Threw the ball, and Easley was there, almost had himself an interception, juggled the ball around,
I was going to say,
finally dropped it.
Easley's had his hands on more balls than a circus juggler so far. Last 2 downs, he double caught both of them.
Look at this. Oh, talk about frustration. That was number 51, Jim Richard, coming over there.
I tell you, I'd be frightened with this Mitchell Brookins out here. One-on-one, Terry Taylor pressing him. If I were the Seahawks.
Flag is down, and they're going to stop it.
I think the nose tackle in Seattle was offside unless he was drawn.
54 seconds left. The clock stopped. We've got a little bit of everything going on here. It looks 13 penalties against the Bills in this game, and they have hurt them. And this one really hurts them because it gives them a 3rd down and 15.
Penalties have plagued the Bills over the last 2 years. Worse last year really than this. But,
well, they're on a pretty good pace for last year, too. .54 seconds remain. Buffalo yet to win a game. They have battled in this one against the Seahawks. Mitchell Brookins, wide to the right. Bernard is wide left. 2 other receivers also in the game, Byron Franklin. And here goes Ferguson's throw. He's short. And they are not going to call anything at all on that. I thought possibly you'd see a flag. Keith Simpson on the coverage, number 42. Pass intended for Dawkins, incomplete.
4th down. They've already gone for 1/4 in this game. This will be the 15th 4th down attempt of the season for the Bills. I noticed in their stats as I looked over before the game. That is a remarkable large number, indicating, of course, the frustration of their season. They've been losing late in the game and having to go so often for it on 4th down.
Well, they've gone 4th down already once today in 3rd and 4th quarters. And here's 4th down. This is it for the Bills if they hope to win today. Ferguson throws. And Mitchell Brookins went the wrong way.
Well, Brookins broke inside, and Ferguson was looking for a go pattern. Now, I don't know what happened. Easley made an effort to intercept it. Why, I don't know. The ball was 45 yards downfield and was going to...
yeah, why would he do that?
Well, unless he felt there was a receiver showing up over there and he better control it some way or other. But I don't know why he wouldn't just bat it down. It's so obvious, and yet players, even veteran, experienced players, don't realize.
Milt Jackson had a couple of words to say to Mitchell Brookins, and he is being consoled a little bit over there. Greg Bell is over there talking to him now.
Well, Brookins was drafted to be a player of 3 or 4 years now. Great speed and potential. They can just sit on it now. The Bills will have to call their last time out, and then they can do this another time. The game will be over. But Brookins was drafted a 4th rounder, a receiver with a lot of speed, a lot of raw talent, who still isn't polished, and they knew it. Type of guy similar to, let's say, Carlos Carson, who I knew at Kansas City, who took a few years to develop. they had hoped for Butler and those people to be in there doing the playing and not having to play Brookins to the degree they are right now.
Now, would they put Brookins out there rather than a Byron Franklin because Brookins has that extra speed?
I'm sure that's the reason. Just the speed and the chance, and he came very close to grabbing that one a few plays ago that where he beat Terry Taylor, or went by Taylor at least. And, but he obviously had a go route, and probably the pattern was called where the receiver on the other side breaks in and he's supposed to go. I'm only speculating. I could be 100% wrong. And he heard it and turned in himself.
The Raiders 23-20 over Minnesota, came back to win that ball game. And the Bills gave it a valiant effort today, but you won't be able to say that to any of the players saying, gee, you guys played great. They don't want to know any of that. They just want to see the W up there. And they come in here to Seattle and battle Coach Chuck Knox and his club, giving them everything they could handle. Actually outplayed them, I still say, from the line of scrimmage, and have come up with another defeat, their 7th in a row.
Well, this hurts. They certainly...
Oh, they fumbled the ball there. Wow. Wouldn't that have been something? Dave Craig fumbled the ball, and Eric Lane had a fall on it.
That's why you bring those backs up in there close. Now it's all over. There are no timeouts left, and by the time they spot the ball, they'll be well under 30 seconds remaining to play. So there'll be no more snaps in this game.
Joe Ferguson, 14-32, 227, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Playing on that very sore ankle. There's Dave Craig, 17 of 29, 231, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And we're winding it down now. 3-2-1. The ball game is over. The final score, the Seattle Seahawks 31, the Buffalo Bills 28. We'll be back to recap this ball game in just a moment.